surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no. Stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Still not really sure what I'm looking at. Hi, good morning. It's Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn, he's Griffin, and Jon Proctor is here this morning. Yeah, sure. Over on the other show, they had Mike Elias. We've got Jon Proctor. So,
You're welcome.
Thank you, pal. Thank you.
John, how are you going to fix the Orioles?
Yeah.
One cheesesteak milkshake at a time.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really sure we have that to offer.
Some assembly required.
I mean, what did you expect? It's a
cheesesteak milkshake.
Is that not a cheesesteak milkshake?
No, it's a steak with no cheese and a milkshake.
Well, yeah, you got to put the cheese on.
Yeah, and then in the milkshake, yeah, all the above.
Yeah.
All the, Griffin said, here are some of the elements of what could be, hypothetically, a cheesesteak milkshake.
Okay.
It'd be like if you gave Stecca some spider eggs and said, here, grow some
yeah,
tarantulas.
Exactly right.
And then roast them.
consume one. Right, exactly right. That would be what it would look like. I also don't know that that's going to fit in the Chick-fil-A cup.
No,
I feel like we might be a dunk situation.
We might need perhaps a wider
what I thought.
cup if we have one
All right.
for the purpose of making it look somewhat like a cheesesteak milkshake. Sure. Yeah,
the one
yeah,
full of coffee.
Yeah, correct. So look at that, you celebrating. It was this weekend. It's over.
Right.
It's over now.
I know.
This is after Christmas. I put away all of my Christmas decorations.
That's a lie.
Well, somewhat. My Mrs. Clark does.
Until Easter, and then they're back out.
Yeah, well, now wait a second. Wait a second. I haven't put them up yet. I haven't. I mean, give me another 2 months, and then we'll talk. I think that'll be the appropriate time. All right, so hi. It is a Tuesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio, and we do have a bunch of other things to do on the program today. Five-star Maryland basketball commit Darius Adams is going to join us a little bit later on. Funny man Aries Spears is going to join us before he comes to town. Patrick Stevens will join us to talk about the NCAA lacrosse tournament and more during the course of the morning. John allegedly has a quiz that we're going to do. We'll see how that goes. John lost our women's tournament bracket contest. And you may remember that a few months ago, the Miami baseball team, I believe they were playing in Villanova, they decided to sell, people paid American dollars, allegedly, for a... Oh, no, wait, we're letting him do it?
I mean,
I'm not sure that I'm comfortable with that.
I will do this justice.
I saw how Jeremy Kahn was handling. If you put more on, I'm just not going to eat it.
Hey, he's doing a good job. Yeah, I mean, he's an honorable loser, I guess, right?
Easy cheese, is that what we went with?
We went with cheddar cheese. Wow, great value.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was the cheapest one.
Pulling out all the stuff.
It was the cheapest one. It was.
Pulling out all the stuff to make this possible. And are these steakums that you went with for that?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, just
who doesn't enjoy a nice steak?
Yeah, exactly. Like
this actually sounds like it's.
I
gonna
know
be
exactly. I know.
wonderful.
As I was putting it together, I was like, I like all these by themselves,
Okay,
right?
we should probably get like a plate or something to put underneath the cup.
I have
you
this
have the plate. All right, in case of spillage here. So Miami played, I think it was Villanova, and so in honor of that, they decided to combine. I don't know what Miami has to do with milkshakes. I'm not sure if there's a lengthy history of milkshakes in Miami, but of course Villanova's in Philadelphia, so it made sense to some extent to do this cheesesteak milkshake. The problem being, everyone looked at it and said, "Why in the F would you do that? Like, who wants this?" Essentially, the concept was a cheesesteak inside a milkshake. Now, what we're providing is sort of like that. Kinda.
How is it any different than
Where'd
that?
you come up with that bread, by the way? What's the story on the...
I don't know. It's just a bread that it was like a cheap.
Cheap bread.
Yeah,
There we
cheap
go.
cheap
There we
white
go.
roll.
I appreciate it. I respect it.
Spared no expense.
So we did a women's bracket contest,
Oh, nice.
and Jon Proctor and Andrew Steck both were on the USC before Juju Watkins got hurt, and that hurt them
Yeah,
because USC then failed to make the Final Four.
didn't hurt me all that much because I know women's basketball.
Right, yeah, you're an expert. I understand that. None of us picked UConn,
No,
right?
no.
Yeah.
none
The
of us
rest of us picked the other. I think we
Yeah,
all
you
were
picked
on
all
one
w-
version of USC or the
correct.
other.
Yeah.
So John was the loser of it. We got to get a picture. Did
I-
you really already? I was hoping that you could dunk the whole thing in there for the sake
Oh,
of
I'm
the picture.
I'm gonna dunk the whole.
Well, yeah, I mean, but
Like this. Just
yeah,
get it
I
and then-
wanted for the gram, as the kids say. I wanted to make sure that we had that. So John lost the bracket contest, and his punishment was that he would have to come in here and he would have to consume a cheesesteak milkshake. Now, I don't know. It doesn't seem all that bad in comparison to a lot of things that we've done around here.
If you power ranked it from worst to
Yeah.
easiest, this has got to be like top 3 easiest.
What was the last one that we did? I don't
Jeremy-
remember.
Jeremy just did one.
Oh,
right?
Jeremy
Jeremy,
just
the
did
Mayo Dogs.
the Mayo Dogs,
Yeah,
right?
he
Like
was
again,
wolfing those
even in
down.
comparison.
Yeah.
I think I'll take this over Mayo Dogs.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
First
Here's Jon Proctor's cheesesteak milkshake. I think part of the concept is that you're supposed to have some of the cheesesteak drip back into the milkshake, and then you have to consume the milkshake with like cheesesteak shavings. in
Yeah.
it.
Should we just put some cheese whiz just like directly into the milkshake?
That's not a bad idea. That's what the pimento cheese milkshake is going to be, I believe, when Joe Serpico does that. Thoughts?
This is exactly what you would expect from
It just-
taking a bite of a milkshake dunked
It's
into
just a
cheese
cheesesteak dunked in some milkshake.
right.
So there are probably some psychopaths somewhere that like just do this.
Yeah,
It's like
John
the
in Little
people
Rock,
that
yeah.
like go to Wendy's and get a Frosty and then just dip everything else they ordered in the Frosty, right? Like they get everybody, not everybody, I certainly do not, but a lot of people talk about the French fries in the Frosty. That's a very common thing. I sure as hell have no interest in it. It does nothing for me. But other people might like just take everything in their order. It's chief fatdom to take like your Wendy's hamburger and dip it in your Frosty. Now, Proctor, you also already consumed breakfast this morning, which was an aggressive choice, knowing you were coming in here to eat a cheesesteak milkshake. What was your breakfast of choice today?
We did the Greek yogurt with berries and granola.
It's not that much. That's not a heavy breakfast. You can consume all of these. I'm not worried about the consumption part of the food. The four hot dogs for Jeremy was a bit aggressive. I haven't consumed 4 hot dogs in a long
Let's see.
time.
What, I went to the O's game Sunday, so Sunday.
Yeah. Griffin's working on his 9-dog, 9.
Yeah, I'm working,
challenge.
When you get to 21, you'll be able to actually go for it.
Correct.
Right.
One of these days. He's like, if only I was a real boy. How thoughts?
I wouldn't order this myself.
Yeah, why would you? Why would anyone?
But
now, what about Chef Bass's cheesesteak? How you feeling about that?
I had given consideration to how I would prepare this if I was doing it.
Uh-huh.
But I had considered like if I caramelize onions and then puree that and mix it with the shake.
Oh.
Maybe get some like cheese whiz and blend that, and then
Right now
you mix in some of the steak and put a half of a roll as a garnish on top. Then that would be a
I don't think
cheesesteak
would it be
milkshake.
but would it be worse?
Do you want to
Would
make
it
the
be-
pimento cheese one?
I feel like it would be. I don't know. This is just kind of you're smashing 2 things together. That might be like
Yeah.
it infused into the cheesesteak.
Oh, you're not on Twitter
cheesecake.
at all now, John. Right now, I was trying to tag you. You're not on Twitter at all.
Oh, Proctor got
No,
off.
Blue
okay.
Sky.
Okay.
Yeah, you got off Twitter. Son of a bitch! I just think I tagged you. Your old account. We're doing this thing now where we're using a buffer in order to send things to both Twitter and Blue Sky. But it requires me to try to have to remember what someone's. It doesn't do the tagging for you, like if you were just posting something on Twitter.
Right.
It's quite annoying because I regularly get things wrong because I just think I know someone's Twitter account. It turns out I don't know it all.
Milkshake?
No, I'm all right. Thank you, pal. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you.
How much cheese was
you
on
still have to consume the whole thing. Like you don't get to bail out on that. I'm not. This isn't like when John Colson walked in and ate a bite of Jeremy's hot dog in the middle.
Oh
of it.
my god, that was awful.
Son of a bitch, ruining bits. He was very excited about the mayo dog. Well, all right. This is a bit of a letdown. Truth be told, I don't think you're gonna puke. I don't
think
think
I'm
you're.
fine.
I think you're gonna just eat the thing. And
Now, if I finish this coffee afterwards, then
yeah, right. That's
Maybe trouble.
that's aggressive. That's a lot of different tastes.
Right.
All kind of gelling together on your stomach at once. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Well, giant bummer.
Well, we don't know that yet. I mean,
It's not as much of a
not quite
no-sell
halfway
as the
there.
time that Brian Powell consumed like 6 pounds of Chick-fil-A sauce in all of 5 minutes.
Right.
That was a
Like,
punishment.
it was an aggressive amount
That
of
was an
Chick-fil-A
early
sauce.
punishment.
Yeah.
But it was. Yeah.
It was
Just
was
had
an
to eat
absurd
Chick-fil-A
amount.
sauce.
And he just pounded through it. And then I noticed a couple times when I looked over afterwards, he had the shakes. Like, it was clear. I was then a little bit worried he was about to go into diabetic shock. And I was like, well, I guess that would be a good sell, but also I don't want him to die. Like, that's not going to be great for our career. But it was definitely a no-sell as far as the punishment was actually concerned because he just shoveled it down his gullet like it was something he regularly consumed. He was like, what you don't know is I actually sit at home and eat pounds of Chick-fil-A sauce for fun. That's the way I spend it Tuesday.
I keep getting like pockets of the dollar store cheese whiz. which
How's
is-
the dollar store
It's
cheese
not my
whiz?
favorite
No,
part of the.
you could go without the dollar
I could
store
go without
cheese
that,
whiz.
but
I don't, for what it's worth, I think anyone who orders a cheesesteak but I remember like when you were younger and people would talk about going to Philadelphia for a cheesesteak, they'd be like, yeah, and it's this whole debate with whiz or with that. And like you allow yourself to be convinced that that's how Philadelphians eat their cheesesteaks. And then you experience it and then you meet someone from Philadelphia and they're like, I would rather die than go to a place like that. We use like the sharp provolone. Like that's how we eat a cheesesteak. Those aren't the places that we go to. You're a sucker, and you're like, okay, that makes a lot more sense because that's kind of shit. Like that's kind of awful.
I did one of them. It wasn't Geno's. It was the other one. Pat's.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you
Yeah,
said. it's
I don't know how that how did it become a thing? Is it just for tourists? Is that the only thing, or is it like they were popular 30 years ago and there are no other options, and so there are some people that still go there? Because everyone in Philadelphia would never be caught dead going to one of those places where they're like, yeah, we go to Jim's, like we go to John's Roast Pork like a real man, you know, like that's we don't go to those places. That's not for us. I was trying to think if we have a Baltimore comparison to that, but like people around here actually do go to Jimmy's. People actually around here actually do go to like what is a seafood spot that would only be for tourists?
That
Phillips.
Phillips. Yeah, Phillips.
Is there still a Phillips downtown?
I don't think so.
I think it's gone, right?
Yeah, I think it's gone.
It's not still open in the ESPN zone?
No, I don't think so.
Then what's in the ESPN zone?
I don't know.
Phillips people went to
I
at the
don't know.
beach. Like that
Right,
was
yeah, yeah,
people would
back in the day.
absolutely go to
Yeah.
Phillips in Ocean City.
That was a highlight dinner
Oh,
when I was a
yeah.
kid, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get
100%,
fried
right?
shrimp and clams."
But did
and-
people ever go to the one downtown?
I guess the Phillips is still open.
Okay, that's probably the closest thing we have. No disrespect.
Yeah.
God, John Colson's finishing a deal right now with Phillips as I'm trashing them. Nobody around here goes to Phillips. He's like, well, somebody's not getting their
It's like, let's tune
salary
in.
this week.
They're like, well, let's just tune in, see
Yeah.
what they're talking about right now.
Today's the day. He's like, we got this great show. They're going to be talking about you all the time. And what a Baltimore institution
I'm sure they're talking about
you
the
are.
Ravens right
Glenn
now.
Clark
they made some
live
news
from
yesterday.
Phillips
Yeah.
seafood deck.
God. Wasn't there one in White Marsh for a minute? Like when we were kids, I swear there was a Phillips in the White Marsh Mall. I swear I'm not making that up. And I'm pretty sure that it was like an event dinner for my dad. Like for my dad, like maybe for his birthday, we go to the Phillips in the White
Was there? There was one that was on like the less
not
used
currently.
size of the mall. I don't remember if it was Phillips or something else.
Phillips Seafood. I'm not crazy. I swear to God, I'm not crazy. Phillips Seafood.
While
White
you're looking,
Marsh Mall.
this is already sitting a little heavily down.
Oh,
Let's
oh,
go.
that's
Let's
good
go.
news.
Yeah.
So there's a chance. There's a chance. In 1995, new Phillips just opened in the White Marsh Mall, according to the Baltimore Sun. Hell yeah, brother. Sometimes you got a boy knows things. I would have been 12 years old, and I'm telling you, my dad, it was an event going to Phillips in White Marsh. But yes, I swear to God, since that Phillips has opened in the ESPN zone, and I went to the ESPN zone hundreds of times. I mean, couldn't have gone there more, despite how tourist trappy it was. Haven't been to that one once. Have not been to the Phillips in the ESPN zone one time in my life. So, do you want a trash can nearby? Or
No,
That's close enough.
I have some willpower.
so, do you?
Yes.
No, look at this guy. I've got some willpower.
I'm not Andrew Stetka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? What I'm trying to think of different things that have made me puke. For sure, the peanut butter sandwiches, the peanut
Oh,
butter and
yeah, yeah.
mayonnaise sandwiches. the pure number of them was overwhelming.
But that's a volume.
Volume situation. And was that the same day as the birch beer, or was the birch beer a different one?
I think that was included with
because
that.
I do
bit,
remember
right?
there being the taste of the birch beer coming back up as I went to puke after
nice
doing
carbonated
that.
goodness
Oh
with your mayo.
God, it was a lot. And then the bull balls, 100% the bull balls, which again was a volume situation. Not that the taste was pleasant, but I was supposed to eat a pound of bull balls that day. There was never going to be a chance. I could have been there for a week, and I might not have been able to consume a pound of the bull balls. I puked up bull balls, and then I had to go. I remember this vividly. I had to immediately go from puking up bull balls to I got a call that I needed to do an event with Jonathan Ogden at his golf tournament. I had to do. We were doing something, and I had to go do something. And I was dressed up as a cowboy, was I not?
Yes,
that
you
particular
were.
day, yeah, I was dressed as a cowboy, and I got a call from Jonathan Ogden's publicist that said, "Hey, need you here at 1:00 at whatever golf course it was." And I said, "Here's the funny thing about that. I'm currently dressed as Woody from Toy Story."
You should have just showed up without any warning.
Right.
Like, what's up, guys?
Hey, guys. Here for the party.
Yeah.
God, it was very hard. She's like, "Don't worry about it. Just need you here." I'm like, "Okay." Walk in. This is the funny part about Jonathan. For those of you that don't know Jonathan Ogden, he's not really phased. Like, he's kind of indifferent about everything. He's just a different cat. And so I walk in, and he didn't say a word. Like, there was no, this is weird or anything like that. He was just like, "Hey, Glenn. What's going on, John? Good to see you, bud." It was one of those. You all right?
No, yeah, I'm just
Catching your breath?
John from Little Rock saying he would crush the cheesesteak milkshake over here.
that's predictable.
I feel like that happens a lot with John. I feel like
He
a
said-
lot of things that we consume, John in Little Rock's like, "That actually sounds good. I'm gonna." Wasn't the pepper the mayo pepper sandwich? Wasn't that on the list of things that he was like, "Oh, I would eat that"?
I mean, he's lying. I mean, then like he wouldn't be able to. I obviously didn't throw up from that, but I don't think I ate anything the rest of the day. Like that just like hurt. Like I had heartburn the entire day. It
we
just
also
was
put
awful.
a more aggressive amount of pepper on
Probably.
that sandwich than the one that we gave Drew. Correct?
Yes, I think we
A
did.
far
I think
more
we did. I think we
aggressive.
needed to be more.
What was the thing that Drew?
heavy on
most
Drew's?
of the things that we tried, Drew ends up saying, "I'd eat that for dinner." I think I just realized that Drew just eats anything. Like, you could feed him any old S, and he'll just eat it. He legitimately loved the pizza beans. Like,
Yeah,
loved
well,
them.
those weren't bad.
They weren't bad, but they're not something I ever need to consume again. He was trying to figure out how to make them for dinner that night. Like, he wanted the pizza beans as a meal.
Well, it was because there's so much cheese on the pizza beans, so like the cheese
also,
helped.
what was it?
And it was just beans and cheese, more or less.
Spam and Oreo sandwich that he
That was before
genuinely
me.
enjoyed. Like, genuinely
That was
enjoyed
before
that.
me, but that sounds not
Yeah,
good.
it was very weird.
John
All
said
right.
he would put. John in Little Rock said he would put that he loves mustard on his crab cakes too.
Get the
Yeah.
John, I thought I respected you. It's one thing that it was Stan. Like, Stan's, let's all be honest. Stan's not going to be with us that much longer. We love him.
Wow.
We love him. But we all know that. Stan's not, we don't have to worry about his nonsense for that much longer. No, I'm kidding. You know I love you, buddy.
Stan's also tuning in for the first time.
Yeah, right. Definitely never listen. You had Corbin Burns on the show? Yes. Yes, Stan, we did. Literally yesterday. Had Corbin Burns on. I thought I respected you, John. Mustard on your crab cake. Get a better crab cake. God.
He said it's an old school thing. You wouldn't understand.
It's not about whether it's like talking about coddies. You know what I mean? Like, you think I don't know? People did this all the time. I understand that. We're an age now where we understand what's a good crab cake and what's a bad crab cake. And there is no point to spending any time in your life with bad crab cakes.
More milkshake on the next one.
I wish that was into the microphone. I really wish that had been into the microphone. Could sort of hear that, but not nearly well enough. Get better crab cakes. It's like when they were, we hired a catering company for my wedding, and they were like, "Hey, the thing we're definitely going to have on the menu is the crab cake." And I said, we'll be the judge of that. They said, "Everyone loves our crab cake." Everybody puts it on the menu. I said, we'll be the judge of that. And I took one bite and I said, you'll serve this at my wedding over my dead effing body. They said, huh? They were like confused by my response to it. I said, no, we don't serve Arizona-style Maryland crab cakes. We don't do that here. It's not legally a crab cake and that's enough. We serve high-level crab cakes or no crab cakes at all. We sent them to a location and said, if you can replicate this place's crab cake and come back and let us try it, then we'll consider allowing you to serve it at the wedding. And apparently this was a point of contention because they went that length. Wow. They went to the length of visiting the location that I told them to go to and then attempting to replicate the crab cake. And it wasn't that, but it was close enough that I said, I will not order it, but I will allow you to serve it at my wedding. That's the way that I feel about it. And if you're eating a crab cake, then
You've improved the world, though,
how so?
because now they know how to make a
I would like to hope.
like
Jeez,
a
if they ever
half-decent crab
if
cake.
they ever serve that other one again, then they should be out of business. Like they should never be allowed to be anywhere near a wedding again. There were other issues.
Were they based in Maryland?
They were based in Hunt Valley.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm probably giving away who it is right now. I don't know how many wedding caterers there are in Hunt Valley.
Everything else was lovely, though.
Yeah, everything else went swimmingly the day that we got married. The monsoon that hit.
The actual swimming.
Yeah, correct. I mean, the good news is I remember none of it. So, like they might have served me the crab cake for all I know. Lord knows it was that type of day. All right,
John's trying to clarify. He says he has mustard on the side, and then he'll put the mustard on the cracker, and then he puts crab on the.
If
on
the
the
mustard
cracker.
touches the crab cake at any point, you're wrong, John. You're wrong.
This is again. He's saying it's old.
So is this because you're in Arkansas? This is the Arkansas
if
crab
you do
cakes,
this
or?
with your coddies, I understand. It's very commonly
What are
done.
coddies?
You don't know what coddies are?
No.
They're little fried codfish, but that you would do the same way on a cracker. This is a
okay.
Baltimore thing. Like this is a, but it's old school. You know who does? John Carroll at his restaurant brought back coddies as part of. He does like a whole fried seafood platter thing, which is phenomenal.
Shit.
My God! Oh hell yeah!
Hey.
Oh, you gotta drink that now.
You
You
can't
got-
drink it. It's
yeah,
a
you can.
full cheese.
Yeah, you can. I've been to parties with you. I know what you're capable of.
All right.
Mashed potatoes, eggs, onions, crushed.
Coddies, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Oh, Papa's has them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Pappas definitely does a coddy. Coddies were extraordinarily common, and there was a time in our history
I
where
want one.
there was a similar concept between coddies and crab cakes. Coddies was like when you couldn't afford a crab cake, you had a coddy. Like that was the way that it worked.
Gotcha.
For what it's worth, I understand the history of it. It's just that we're better than that. I would like to hope that we're better than that as a society. We now know these are the places you go for crab cakes, and with all due respect, anywhere else that serves a crab cake, you let the out-of-towners purchase them. And we stay away. Like the place that we go to trivia every Monday night, I don't know if they serve a crab cake or not, but you know what I'm never going to order there? The crab cake. Will never happen. I don't care. There's like 3 places around here where I will go for a crab cake. Otherwise, it's got to be one prepared at home. That's it. List of places that I trust for a crab cake. I don't think any of them are sponsors. Well, I mean, I take that back. Absolutely, without question.
Right.
Costas makes a fine crab cake. Fine crab cake. But it's very few on the list that I trust to make crab. There are places that go on about their crab cakes. There have been places over the years that have asked me to advertise their crab cakes, and I have said I can't do it. I can't. Legitimately have told sales staff I will advertise a lot of things, but there is something sacred to me about if I tell you there's a place. There was one place that I was associated with for like 10 years that everybody knows. That was my place, and it was a straight shoot. That's where I went for crab cakes, period. And it was a good deal because every Friday they'd send me a box of crab cakes.
What?
I
How do we get that back?
No, it's never going to happen again. Crab cakes cost like $70 now. That will never be
What if,
occurring
like,
again.
once a month they send us a crab? What a crab cake?
All right. Before we talk to Darius Adams, and John's got a quiz for us, we should take a minute to discuss. You're going to be okay?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm at this fun point where the fat has congealed a bit on the steakums.
Ooh.
All the cold has just been like.
I like this.
It's not.
I like this.
Now
part.
my least favorite
Yeah,
over the
right.
dollar store cheese whiz. But carry on before we talk to Darius.
We do need to discuss, obviously, yesterday's news that the Ravens officially released Justin Tucker. And this is not – it's very awkward to go from the silliness of what we're doing here to this conversation. As I said via social, this is not a good topic for either social media or for sports radio, frankly, because it is nuanced, it is layered, it is more than just one hot take that you can offer in order to describe it. I've written about that a little bit in the past for Press Box before Justin Tucker was released. I don't know how much more to say about the complications of it. The Ravens have made this decision. It appears there's a few things about the actual decision. One, I was told by a couple league sources that they genuinely believe the Ravens were considering the possibility of having a suspended Justin Tucker as a backup plan for whatever kicker they drafted. It appears now as though that may have been subterfuge. Like the Ravens wanted that out there because they didn't want teams to know how much they wanted a specific kicker in the draft. Ironically, that didn't work out for their first-round pick. That got out there. Everyone knew what they wanted to do in the first round of the draft.
I still got him.
You've seen the video. Apparently, the Eagles were purposely trying to trade ahead of the Ravens to get Malachi Starks. The timing of this definitely appears to be related to they wanted to make sure that people thought they might not be moving on from Justin Tucker to try to line up the kicker that they wanted in the NFL draft. One thing I have been told, again, keep in mind, this is the reason why I'm not a reporter. The information that I get from some of these sources, I'm not triple vetting because I'm not telling you I'm reporting this. I'm telling you this is the conversations that I've had. One of the things that I've been told is that it is legitimate. Like that anytime you draft a player, you say, oh, it's amazing. That was the top guy on our list, right? That was the guy we wanted the entire time. I have been told that the Ravens, that's not BS when it comes to Tyler Loop. Like, that was the kicker that they identified before the draft as the one that they wanted. They wanted Tyler Loop. Now, does that mean that it's going to work out with Tyler Loop? Couldn't possibly tell you. How'd it work out for Steven Hauschka? Right? Like, we point out the history of the Ravens and kickers, and there is a good history for the Ravens and kickers, right? A lot of people forget that Robbie Gould actually started with the Ravens once upon a time. It's just that they had Matt Stover, so they had no purpose for Robbie Gould. He turned out to be a hell of a kicker. They've got a great history with kickers.
No porpoise either. Those are Miami.
Did I say porpoise?
Yeah.
I stand by it, actually. I stand by it. But Steven Hauschka didn't necessarily work out, although he actually had a pretty decent career. Graham Gano was a kicker that they identified as a rookie and brought in and just didn't have room for, so he ended up elsewhere. Like, they've got quite the history. They, I am told, definitively wanted Tyler Loop. We'll find out. But it becomes clear timing-wise that they didn't release Justin Tucker before this because they didn't want anyone going into the draft to know definitively that they had to have a kicker during the course of the draft. So there's that. As far as the decision itself, understandable. A lot of people making a big deal about the fact that they're really pushing this is a football decision. There's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to that. They need that to be there so that because the NFLPA is going to try to file a grievance, like they will, that, hey, the investigation hadn't even played out. You hadn't even you don't – it could be very well be that Justin Tucker never gets suspended. There's never been any charge brought. Like, they can't say we're releasing Justin Tucker for disciplinary reasons if they can't then back up exactly what those disciplinary reasons are. So they have to say it's for football reasons because in the NFL, as we all know, you can release a player whenever you want. They don't have guaranteed contracts. Like, you can just release a player. That's the way that it goes. So they have to say it's for football reasons. To add to that layer, there's some questions that we might never have the answers to. Like, one of the questions would be, if this was 2 years ago, when Justin Tucker was still definitively the top kicker in the NFL, would they have definitely still made the same decision? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that it's something that they're prepared to reconcile with. I think it's easy now to say, like, if Eric DaCosta was asked that question, he probably would be able to say, yeah, we would have done it because it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, right? But if that had actually occurred when Justin Tucker was still definitively at the height of his dominance as the greatest kicker in league history, and this news comes out publicly, would the Ravens have done the same thing? Don't know. Again, they just drafted Mike Green, right? Like, there's some congruence issues there. And then the other layer to it is the question that we'll almost certainly never know the complete answer to. What did they know when? Did the Ravens know these things 5 years ago and just said, hopefully it'll never become all that public and he's really good at kicking, so we'd rather not deal with it? They'll never acknowledge that. They'll forever say exactly, oh, we found out the moment everybody else found out when this story came out. We couldn't believe it. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible, I guess. But, again, considering how many people we later found out were tweeting about Justin Tucker and massage parlors over the years, it seems a little unlikely that no one over there ever got, like, a knock on the door. Hey, man, you see all these tweets about Justin Tucker and do we know anything about this? We'll probably never know the answer to that. In the end, the decision is the decision. There are complicated feelings towards it, and that's okay. It is. If you're trying to defend the actions, that's not okay. There's a difference between if your genuine emotions are, dude, Justin Tucker was a really good kicker. I met him a few times over the years. I owned his jersey. I'm struggling with this. That's human. That's okay. If your emotions are, I don't give an F, he did some really terrible things, we think, that's okay too. If your emotions are, F, Me Too's a sham and, Justin Tucker, if that's where you are, you're just kind of a piece of garbage. But any other emotion is real and human and understandable. Justin Tucker had been a beloved civic figure for a decade plus until January. You're going to have complicated emotions about that. And anyone trying to shame you for that it's not real. As long as it doesn't traipse into, and I don't think he did anything wrong. Whoa. It ends there. But it's understandable. I referenced it a couple months ago. I had lots of interactions with Justin Tucker over the years. It's understandable to have complicated feelings about it. But ultimately, the Ravens made the decision that they made. And that's it. That's the end of it. The questions that follow, will one day Justin Tucker be allowed to be celebrated in Baltimore? Don't know. Couldn't possibly know that. It doesn't feel likely at the moment. But, Ray Rice is a pretty popular figure around town these days. Again, I don't think he'll ever be in the Ravens Ring of Honor. But he's, if Ray Rice shows up to an event, I was there at the ice party that the Ravens did, and Ray Rice was walking around like a beloved figure that night. So I don't know. I don't know what Justin Tucker is going to feel towards the Ravens. I don't know any of those things. It's far too early. Will Justin Tucker ever end up in the Ravens Ring of Honor? I saw a lot of that going on yesterday. I don't think it could be soon. I don't think anytime soon could that happen. Could there be a day down the road? Maybe, but I don't know. It sucks, man. Every layer of it sucks. It sucks for all of these massage therapists that, and we still have to say allegedly, were violated by Justin Tucker. It sucks for Ravens fans that fell in love with a public figure. It sucks for everybody. I can have empathy towards Justin Tucker without feeling any sympathy towards him. This is self-inflicted. I have no sympathy. But that doesn't mean that you can't have empathy for, like, hey, man, you were living the high life, and then it's all gone. Now, it's on you. You did that. I don't feel bad for you, but it can't be fun. It's a complicated. There's no good poll to put on the internet about. Somebody texted me yesterday that works in Vegas and it's like, oh, now your show's taken care of for the week. I'm like, dude, this is not. You think I want to talk about this? This sucks, man. There's no sports radio. Like when there's a quarterback competition in town, that's good sports radio, right? Like, do you think Joe Flacco or Troy Smith should be the starting quarterback? That's good radio. Everybody can have an opinion. Even the silly Lamar Jackson stuff with the contract was good content. It was a little nerve-wracking, but it was still good content. There's no good content here. This sucks. A beloved figure was apparently doing terrible things. Why do we want to talk about that? I hope that Tyler Loop is a great kicker. I hope he becomes the greatest kicker in NFL history. I hope our buddy Brad takes him in the first round of our fantasy draft for the next 20 years. That's where we are now. The Justin Tucker era is over. It's time for Tyler Loop, and we're going to find out if Tyler Loop can kick in the NFL. And it'll be interesting to see how much grace he has to start the season. A couple people have already brought up the idea of maybe they need to also bring in a veteran kicker, like who was the guy in Tampa that just couldn't do Aguayo?
Yeah.
Remember who they used like a second-round pick on him, and he just couldn't do it. So you might want to also have a veteran kicker like lined up in case this guy's not ready. I think that makes sense. Is there anything else that
they brought in that Wyoming kid, and so they just.
But that's for a
Yeah.
That's not for that's not really for competition. Like you need to bring in somebody who's kicked in the NFL.
Like with Matt Gaby too much then?
Matt Gaby signed, didn't he?
Oh, he did. I
in
thought
Washington?
he was just. Oh, you're right.
I thought he just signed in Washington. That if Matt Gay, you'd be signing to be your kicker. You're looking for somebody that's on the street that you could bring in as competition.
Nick Folk.
Is he available?
I think so. Yeah.
Bring in Nick Folk. Is he 50? How
Yeah.
old is Nick Folk?
Yeah, he is. Yes.
Yeah. Bring him in and have him in there to push, not to take the job, to push Tyler Loop. To say, dude, we need you to be prepared, and the first thing you have to do is you have to make sure you definitively prove that you're better than this guy that's probably on the tail end of his career. And if that shakes Tyler Loop, then you might have the wrong kicker, admittedly. That might not be the guy that you want to send out there for a 55-yarder in week 1 against whoever they be playing. We'll find out next week.
Cincinnati, whatever.
Correct. So that's where we are. That's where we are.
You want the list of veteran kickers?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I think that's all I can say about it. All right? We good? If there's another layer to this, if something else comes out, if we find out definitively if there's a report from, I don't even know who does investigative reporting anymore because I'm pretty sure everybody's just a partner of the NFL and they don't want to get in trouble. But if there's an investigative report about a cover-up for the Ravens over the next 5 years, we'll react to that. But in the moment, it's just a new kicker. That's the end of it. That's all I got for you. Today's show brought to you by this print issue of Press Box. It is available for free at your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. Read it all, PressBoxOnline.com. Great cover story from Luke Jackson about Felix Batista, Tyler Wells, Kyle Bradish, the hard road back from Tommy John, major elbow surgery. Go pick it up today. All right, palate cleanser. This we are excited about. Had to do it a little bit earlier on because of his schedule, but an opportunity to catch up with one of the highest-rated recruits ever landed by Maryland basketball, Darius Adams, right here on GCR. Well, the last couple of weeks we've been meeting the players that will make up the new University of Maryland basketball team under Buzz Williams, and last week a huge get for the Terps. As a McDonald's All-American, a 5-star, one of the top 25 players in the country, Darius Adams committed to Maryland. And joining us right now here on GCR, he is the aforementioned Darius Adams. Darius, it's Glenn Clark here in Baltimore. It's great to meet you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us, and congratulations on becoming a Terp.
Great to meet you too. I'm excited to be a Terp. It's gonna be very exciting.
Darius, I think that we're all kind of in the same place where when we ask the question, how did this happen? With a lot of guys we know for some time, it's been in the. We have no idea really how all this happened with you. Can you take me through from the time that you decided to decommit from UConn, how this all came about that you ended up here at Maryland?
Yeah. After my decommitment from UConn, got hit. My phone was getting hit up by a lot of coaches. And then me and Buzz talked one day. And then we had a great conversation. It was kind of like a connection there, like off of the first phone call. So then he came to see me the next morning. And then I went to go down. I went down there, and then it was just from there. Just the connection I made with him. It was pretty good.
Darius, it's almost profound the way you described it. Did you know Coach Buzz at all? Had he recruited you at all at Texas A&M?
To be honest, no. I didn't know. I didn't know of him at all. He did not recruit me when he was at Texas A&M. So it was really like a shock to me, of how like we talked the first time we met.
So I've heard a lot of guys talk about the personal relationship that they have ended up feeling with Buzz Williams and what he makes you think about beyond just basketball. Could you describe, because to go from someone that you didn't know at all to here we are and you're headed to play for him at Maryland, what kind of relationship, what was that that phone call like, and what did it do for you to make you say, hey, this might be the guy that I want to be around?
Yeah, so it was we didn't really talk about basketball when we were on the phone. It was more about his family, my family, and that really just showed the type of person he was. And then so my dad's a pastor. So I'm a believer. That was definitely a topic of conversation we had. And it was exciting when I first met him. It was exciting.
Did you now when you say that your dad's a pastor, we know a lot of pastors' kids end up like going into the same field. Have you ever thought about like that? I know basketball is the priority right now, understandably so. You look like you have a heck of a future ahead of you, but have you ever thought about maybe taking the same path? And when you start talking, do you ever feel like you're preaching a little bit just because you've seen your dad do it so many times?
Yeah, no, I haven't thought about that yet, just because basketball is really mainly on my mind. But it's not something I would say no to, definitely in the future. But I just haven't even like processed that yet.
You got plenty of time, man. You got all the time in the
Yeah.
world to figure out if that's going to be part of your life. Darius Adams is with us here on GCR. Darius, like, did you know much about the program at Maryland? Like, again, it seems like a heck of a commitment to make in such a short amount of time. I know you got the opportunity to visit. Were there things that you needed to know about the program before you decided to make the commitment?
Yeah, so I didn't know. I knew Maryland obviously because it's close to home.
Mhm.
So I knew Maryland. I wasn't really looking into their basketball program until after I decommitted, but I did watch last year. Obviously, they had a big run. So and then things I needed to see. I definitely needed to see the campus.
Mhm.
That is the mainly one of the main reasons why I went down. The campus, just to feel it out. The gym, Xfinity Center. It looked like a great gym to play in. So yeah.
It can be really electric, man. Like it can be
Yeah.
one of the most electric buildings in all of college basketball. Darius, your path from New Jersey to ending up out in Indiana to play at the prep level. Can you kind of take me through, how that came about, why that was the place for you to continue playing, and what maybe that experience has done for you to maybe help prepare you now for this jump to the college level?
Yeah, so Jersey, when I was in Jersey, I spent my first 2 years at a public school, Manasquan.
Wow.
Great school, great coach, loved it there. But I wanted to have more of a challenge, competition, playing against the best players I can play against every day. So then I moved out to here in Indiana. And it's been great here. The competition is crazy. Our schedule we play is crazy. So just playing the top competition and knowing what it's like to work out 2 times and lift and just it all is just going to prepare me for the next level.
I feel like it can only be a benefit in that way. Did you at any point in the process like get to know any of the other? It's obviously it's an entirely new team, right? That you're going to be playing with here at Maryland. There are no holdovers from a year ago. A couple of guys who are coming with Coach Buzz from Texas A&M. Did you get to know? Or did you know any of those guys from any stop along the way? Have you been able to get in touch with any of those guys in the days since you made the commitment?
No, I didn't know any. I mean, I knew like some of the transfers they had. I seen a couple of them play, but I don't know any of the guys.
Okay.
I'm excited to meet them. I haven't been. I've been like followed back on Instagram and stuff like that, but not actually in contact. I'm gonna be at school in a month, so it's it's not it doesn't it's not really affecting me. But so yeah.
Do you feel like given I have no doubt that given your ability that you intend to be a big part of this next season, do you feel even as a freshman, do you feel like you have I don't know, maybe some responsibility and obligation to try to help be the guy to bring everybody together next season, this entirely new group of players?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's my responsibility, but if that role is gonna get put on me, I'm for sure gonna take it. Um, I'm going in there. I'm competing. I'm gonna see where I stand. With other guys, and if that becomes my role, then I'm for sure gonna take it, and I'm gonna I'll be there to help.
We love that. Love the sounds of that. He is Darius Adams, incoming Maryland basketball commit. He's with us here on GCR. Darius, as I'm sure you would know, we've had the privilege the last few years to get to know Juju Reese really well, and of course to get to know Angel really well. They're from Baltimore, both played at Maryland. I wonder because you and your sister are a little bit further apart, right? Age-wise. What that dynamic has been like for you over the years? How competitive have the two of you been? Do you even get that opportunity at all, given that you've been away, she's been away? Like, have you had much of a chance to go back and forth with each other on the basketball floor?
Yeah, so when we were younger, always, always one-on-ones. But net like it got too rough, so we had to stop. But just seeing her journey on like her basketball journey, being there, it definitely helped me. Seeing what she went through definitely helped me. She was a McDonald's All-American as well, so that's something that I wanted to follow her in her footsteps. So just seeing like the things she went through and me being around basketball because of her definitely helped me.
When you say things got too rough, which way was that? Like her pushing you around too much because you were the little brother? Was that you being the little brother and wanting to fight back a little bit too much? Like who was responsible? Is it both of you that you would say, yeah, we're just all uber competitive and it wasn't helping anybody?
Yeah, it's both of us. We're both very competitive, and it wasn't helping anybody.
What about like do you get to watch each other's games, and do you have the type of relationship where you can text each other or message each other and say, hey, I noticed this, and how does she help you as a basketball player? How do you help her as a basketball player?
Yeah, so like I've been to probably so it was her last season at Rutgers this year. I probably went to two of her games. So and we FaceTime probably like twice a week. So just keeping her confident. It's from her brother, so like she knows it's somewhere from out of love. So and the same thing. If I have a bad game, I'm definitely gonna be calling her, because she can give me advice because she has bad games as well at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? So, it's good to have someone that goes through the things you go through just to be there and talk about it.
I think it's incredible. Now, what about like trash talk wise? When you guys would play against each other, like I know you're religious. I know you're a young man of faith. I understand that, but like, did it maybe come out a little bit when you guys would go up against each other? A little bit of trash talk.
Yeah, definitely. But my trash talk to her was always that she couldn't shoot. Um, but she would always just try to bully me in the paint. That's the only reason why I said that. So that was the really only trash talk
Just
for
trying to
me.
take advantage of the fact that she was older. Just trying to take advantage of
Yeah.
the. Nah, come on. And I love that. I think that's wonderful. What about in general? Are you much of a trash talker on the floor, or are you more like I'll let the game do the talking?
Yeah, no, I'm not much of a trash talker. I'm not. I would say like if someone starts with me, like I'll do it back.
Yeah.
But I'm not really much of a trash talker. I do I let the game speak for itself.
Speaking of your game, I've been able to watch a lot of highlights, and I see not only obviously can you shoot, but we've seen some really athletic dunks. We've seen some of that. Like, do you? I've heard you talk about being a complete offensive player. Do you feel like that's what you're bringing to the University of Maryland? Is not someone that can feel like one specific need, but you can do multiple things, maybe play multiple positions in the backcourt as needed at the University of Maryland.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Definitely, I feel like I'm a very versatile player. I feel like am able to play the one and the two. If that's what they need me to do, then I will do that. And I feel like I'm a player that can shoot it very well, but also I can get to the rim. I can get to my mid range. I could pass, dribble, shoot, and pass. So it's being versatile. I could play many positions, guard many positions. So yeah.
I mean, we like the sounds of that, man. That sounds really, really good to us. What is it? You know, I think from the outside, a lot of people say, "Wow, this is a lot for all these guys to come together and try to gel and compete in a first-year coach." But what do you believe that? Like, I can't imagine you come to a place like Maryland thinking like, "Oh, they might be a year or two away." Like, I got to think that someone your talent believes that it's not going to take that long for a new coach and a new staff and a new group of players, and that you all will be ready to compete as early as this year.
Yeah, as we can see, Coach Buzz is definitely a coach that wins anywhere he goes. So that's like the first thing. And I feel like um the the players that he got from Texas A&M to come with him, and then the players that we got of the transfer portal are definitely gonna help. And I think with me and it's just going to be even better. I think we're going to be competing for a top spot in the Big Ten, obviously, and I think we're going to be working really hard to do that. And I think Buzz is going to get us to work really hard to do that.
Yeah, all that sounds great to us, man. That sounds tremendous. All right, young man, you have had a spotlight on you for some time, right? And like all of the attention recruiting wise and committing and decommitting. How do you handle it? Like I know I'm sure your faith is a big part of the story, but how do you handle who are the people that you reach out to deal with all of the pressure and now another new fan base that like is obsessed with you and and thinks that you're going to be the guy that's going to turn things around. Like, how do you handle all of that at such a young age, Darius?
Oh yeah, definitely. God is a big part of that. Just talking with him, he's the one that gives me peace with all that. And definitely family. My mom and dad and my three sisters, they're great. They're great with me. They're very supportive. So just being able to talk to them, knowing that talking to them is coming out of love. And then I also have a PSA, my PSA director, Munch. He is someone I talk to that um always gives me the truth no matter if I want to hear it or not.
That's huge.
So that's definitely something I need.
Oh, that's huge, man. And that you don't have to worry about like it's coming from a real place. That's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, Darius, I have watched other interviews with you. I know you said you're kind of a chill guy. Like, are you a basketball junkie? Like, are you the type that, like, maybe would on a date you take a girl to the gym and shoot threes or something? Like, are you that much of a basketball, like just a pure hooper that it has a complete obsession, or are there other things that maybe you get into away from hoops?
No, I'm definitely just a hooper. Like I want to be in. I can't wait to get there and have full access 24 hours in the gym because I can't wait to just like be in the gym, work out every day, get better. I would say outside of basketball, it's nothing. It's just I'm hanging out with friends. I'm watching Netflix, or I'm watching the NBA playoffs or highlights on YouTube.
So, hang on, are you a Knicks fan?
I'm a Knicks fan. I'm
Okay.
a Warriors fan.
All right. I mean, look, dude, I'm a Phoenix Suns fan. It's a long story. I used to work out there years ago, and it was Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, and they were just so much fun to watch that I fell in love. Like, I just became a massive fan. But I hate saying this every time. Dude, Steph Curry is just so much fun to watch that even when they're I can't root against that cat. Like, I can't do it. He's just the most fun I've ever had watching anyone play basketball in my entire life.
No, for sure, definitely.
He's something else, man. He really is something else. Darius, remind Maryland fans where you are social media-wise, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere like that they can be giving you a follow as you go through this process and get ready to head to College Park.
Instagram, it's Darius with 2 S's and then Adams. I think it's the same thing for Twitter. And then, yeah, just Instagram and Twitter, I would say.
Darius, so happy for you. Really excited to see what it is that you're going to be bringing here come this fall at the University of Maryland. Congratulations again, and thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning, man. We really enjoyed this.
For sure. Can't wait to get to work. Can't wait to show the fans what I'm all about.
Very impressive young man. Appreciate Darius Adams taking the time for us. When we come back in, oh, you know what? You got one. John's at the end. You want to go ahead and take that last sip there of the last sip of the cheesesteak milkshake?
It is sitting heavily.
Yeah, that's what we like. We like when there's at least a little bit of pain involved. Good job. Thank you. Appreciate that.
If this affects my movie-going experience, you'll be hearing from my attorney.
Oh, yes. John's going to see
the one that lost.
The movie that randomly changed names yesterday. He's going to see that.
I guess you should have seen it before.
What's that?
I guess you should have seen it before the.
Yeah, they changed the name
weekend.
and gave it was a bit of a spoiler involved. Yeah, the whole thing. But it's what it is. We come back in a Jon Proctor quiz. It's been a long time. We'll see how this goes next. Glenn Clark Radio.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from driveeasymd.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at driveeasymd.com.
Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses make golf fun and affordable. All 5 local courses, Pine Ridge, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Clifton Park, are challenging and fun for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time today at classic5golf.com.
Discover luxury without limits at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. This April, unlock a world of high-fashion delights and exclusive style. Earn entries daily starting April 1st and join our drawing on Friday, April 25th. 19 will win up to $2,000 in cash and free play. And one grand prize winner will take home a curated Versace homeware collection. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Something big is coming to Maryland, but it's more than what you think. Because this year, it's more than a race. It's the Preakness Festival 150. And if there's one event you don't want to miss, it's the Magic of Maryland Music Celebration with DJ D-Nice, Club Quarantine 5 Live, BSO alongside conductor Igmar Thomas, special performances by Deborah Cox, Jadakiss, Too Short, and more. Tickets are limited. Find them and see all other events free and ticketed at PreaknessFestival.com.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and on the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the long road back from Tommy John surgery for Orioles closer Felix Bautista, as well as Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells. Also inside, we learn more about new Maryland basketball coach Buzz Williams from the players who have played for him at other stops. Plus, evaluators around baseball chime in on Orioles top prospect Samuel Basayo. Pressbox is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR. It's time. It's been a long time. Jon Proctor quiz. Do we have a theme for this week's quiz?
No,
sir?
this is just Glenn versus Griff.
Oh,
We're
boy.
getting.
We'll see how this goes.
There's some fun rounds.
All right. Jon Proctor quiz brought to you by County Sports Zone. Everything you need to know about high school sports, find it at countysports.zone. It's proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com.
Wild card. We'll start with a couple of these as we are wont to do.
We got to write. Yeah.
Got a piece of paper over there, Griff?
Yeah, I can use it. Yes.
Currently ongoing, the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup is happening in Seychelles. What is the population in thousands of first-time participant and host Seychelles?
Are you willing to tell us where Seychelles is?
It is in the Indian Ocean.
The Indian Ocean.
Seychelles? Do we get the spelling of Seychelles?
It doesn't help you. Seychelles.
What's the population?
In thousands.
So, I'll say...
Of Seychelles.
Yes.
I'll say...
Can I get the coordinates of...
no, just guess a number. We got to go. We don't have time for this.
Okay.
All right, what did you write?
Do I just say it?
Yeah.
26,000.
I, of course, did the trivia thing. Could bite me in the ass.
Glenn's going to get the points. I don't know why they're not adding up. It was 121.
Oh, I think I got like 100 points. Isn't that how that works?
You would get 95 points.
Yeah, so good.
Why does he get 95 points? How's
the difference between the correct answer and what you guessed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so this one, I would be remiss not to mention the premier racing event of this past weekend. Of course, the Italian round of the Superbike World Championship.
Oh,
darn it.
Yeah.
That was F1.
Don't you feel stupid?
Yeah.
I was up all night watching.
I was like, oh, Piastri, I got this.
Nicolo Bulega has pole position for Team Ducati. How many thousands of dollars does limited edition series Ducati V4 Lamborghini model cost?
What the? Thousands of dollars?
How many thousands of dollars?
No. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this.
All right, Glenn, take you first.
$569.
Oh. I went 650.
Wow. You guys don't buy motorcycles.
No.
It costs $78,000.
Oh, when you said Lamborghini, I legitimately just thought it was a car.
Oh, no.
Like, legitimately.
it's a motorbike, super bike.
It's a Lamborghini.
Ha ha!
All right, Glenn,
I'm killing it over here.
Glenn with a
Your
comfy
guess was
lead.
terrible. What a stupid guess that was, Griffin.
Sorry, I thought Lamborghini was like good. You know.
Oops. All right, I'll figure that
So
out.
I'm now way in the hole.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah,
if I were you, I would probably just quit.
All right, Griff, you get to go
No,
first.
I'm not gonna quit.
This is an Orioles jersey before and after category.
Okay.
So I'll give you a clue and a jersey number. You have to give me the before and after. All right? Actually, you both get to answer this, so you'll write it down.
I'm not really sure that I am.
100
don't
points.
understand.
100 points. Orioles jersey number 7 and a budget hotel chain. Tell me the player, and it's before and after.
Oh, got it. So it's
Who
going to
wears
be
number 7 and then
Right.
combine it with a budget hotel chain.
Right. I was struggling with that.
Okay. So we're fighting to see who goes
Just write
first.
it. You just write it down. If you have it, give Glenn a couple
and it's
seconds.
currently wears number 7?
These are all current jersey numbers.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah.
All right. Griff, what do you got?
I'll go Jackson Holiday.
It's a before and after.
Before and after, you say the whole thing.
Oh, Jackson Holiday Inn Express.
Just Jackson Holiday Inn or Holiday Inn Express.
Okay, Holiday Inn.
I did write that down.
Excellent. You both get 100 points.
Jackson Holiday Inn.
Got it.
That's
all right. Number 2.
Has he never watched Wheel of Fortune?
That's more Jeopardy, isn't it?
I think it's a little bit of. They definitely do that on Wheel of Fortune
they do it.
constantly.
It's one of my favorite
Well,
Jeopardy
yeah.
categories too.
That's
All right, 100 points again. Sausage brand and number 64.
The problem is I'm struggling with who wears what number, and I don't know why I'm struggling so much with that.
I'm not a real fan, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. I got it.
Griff, do you have an answer?
Yeah.
We'll give you a couple seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the brand would be. I'll go Kramer Meyer.
Nailed it. Want to help him out, Glenn?
Jimmy Dean Kramer.
Jimmy Dean Kramer.
Jimmy Dean Kramer.
Darn.
All right, for
before and after.
Yeah, for 200 points.
Yeah.
A WWE Hall of Famer born in St. Mary's County, Maryland, and number 29.
WWE Hall of Famer. Born. I actually thought that one would be the part that I would get. Born in St. Mary's County.
Wait, say the order. Say the order again that you want it.
It's the Hall of Famer,
Okay.
number 29.
St. Mary's County. And number 29. Holy F.
All right, couple of seconds.
I'm blanking, man. Oh. You know, I was going with his real name, and that was screwing me up. I got it.
Yep.
I got it.
His real name is Scott Hall.
Jesus Christ. That was the one. I had it, but I was going with, I'm like, sorry.
All right.
A Maryland native WWE Hall of Famer. I don't know who Scott Hall is.
Help him out.
I got nothing.
Razor Ramon Arias.
Razor Ramon is from here.
He was born in St. Mary's. I didn't know that until yesterday.
And I knew Scott Hall was born. I didn't know it was St. Mary's County. I knew he was born in Maryland because he actually came on the show once and famously, like 6 minutes into the interview, ditched. Was having a great time. Was killing it. And then we went to ask another question, and he said, "Boys, I got to go get my hair fried, dyed, and laid to the side." And we said, "Okay, well, we'll get you." And it hung up.
Nice.
Gone. Out.
Not for 200 points. A recent Chalamet role and number 15.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't know what number this person wore, but
There you go.
now I know.
You can figure it out.
Yeah.
I should be able to figure it out.
I mean, this one's the easiest of the bunch, really.
Got to throw some cupcakes in there sometimes.
Yeah. Why can't I?
Mm-hmm.
What was the order again?
A recent Chalamet role.
And number 15.
And number 15. This is a good, you know what? This is a good round.
Yeah.
John. This is a good round.
Okay, so Bob, Dylan.
Say the next part.
Dylan Bundy.
Nailed it.
Darn it.
Active.
What?
Active.
What
Who is
happened to
number
him?
50? Who is Dylan? What Dylan is on the team?
Bob Dylan Carlson. Bob the Dylan on the Orioles.
He's on the Orioles?
Yes. He's on the Orioles.
Is he like good?
No.
So why would I know?
But he's on the Orioles.
I don't care about Dylan
you
Carlson.
You love the Orioles.
Not Dylan Carlson.
No one said you had to love
I love the Orioles.
Carlson.
Is Dylan
I didn't
Carlson?
know what number he wore.
First guess
but
on the.
As soon as I figured out Bob Dylan, there was one Dylan on the Orioles.
First
Yeah,
guess on the
Dylan
Phillips show
Carlson.
was supposed to be Dylan Carlson, guys.
Right.
Dylan
God.
Carlson.
All right, 300 points for the last two.
It's not a good sign.
Now I hate Dylan Carlson.
Number
Not that I had did, not that I like I liked
Number-
him before.
number 50 and some well-known sodium chloride.
Now you're asking me to know.
Yep.
Periodic table of the
If
elements.
I said what that is,
I know, right?
then you would just be like,
Number 50. I don't know that I know number 50.
Mhm. That's why this is a 300.
Oh. Yeah. As long as sodium chloride is what I think it is,
All right.
then I'm okay here.
You got something over
It's
there,
gonna be
Griff?
embarrassing if I get this wrong.
Do you know what sodium chloride is, Griff?
Yeah, all right. I'll go. So Brian Baker. No, is he not 50? No, I don't know.
Brian
his-
baking powder.
I don't know what
Yeah,
number
that's what I was
Brian Baker
gonna say.
wears.
Yeah, I guess it's not him. Andrew
All right.
Kittredge powder.
Charlie Morton salt.
Charlie Morton salts.
I only got that because I figured out what sodium chloride was.
But if I just said salt, you
yes,
would be on it
50.
right away.
100%, yes.
All right, last one. Star of the movie Soylent Green
Oh.
and number 13.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Apparently, I don't know anybody on the Orioles.
This is not a good sign for you, my friend.
I thought you would do better on this round. Griff.
Yeah, this really is. I don't think he would know the first. I don't think he knows that part. He might not even know who that person is.
Soylent Green.
Legitimately.
That's
it's
true. That's
totally
true.
possible.
This is
he
a
doesn't know
movie?
who that
It
is.
is an old sci-fi movie.
Been a lot of things though.
Yeah, he's been in quite a few things.
Yeah,
Notable non-best picture winner.
that's right. Found that out
Ten
the
Commandments.
hard way. Getting skull
Planet of
dragged.
the Apes.
Over here getting skull dragged today. Yeah.
I'll give you his first name, Charlton.
Charlton.
Oh God. Oh God. There's like one person ever that's had the name Charlton.
Yeah.
Okay. Good for him.
Oh jeez.
All right, just say you pass and we'll move on.
Charlton. God,
just
who's
say
number
Orioles
13?
name. Just say
Yeah.
Orioles name.
Dean
Yeah.
Kramer.
Charlton
Charlton
Dean Kramer. He went with double Dean Kramer for
Right.
this round.
Thought he were 2 numbers.
Of course, Charlton Heston Kerstad.
Yeah,
Kirsten,
The old
We're
Chuck
going
Heston.
Man, I don't know any of my numbers.
All right.
And
Glenn-
actually, that's one of the few that I knew the number. I actually knew
Glenn's up
by a lot.
by quite a bit here.
By a lot.
Do I have
All
a
right, here we go.
chance?
Might want to pull that Star Wars round out.
Volley round. This time you do get to go first. So the more you get right, the higher your score gets. Alternate 3 strikes. In the NHL, 17 teams are on active playoff droughts. Name the 8 teams with at least 4 years without a playoff appearance. So Griff, you're up.
Sharks.
You said 18.
Sharks, correct.
8 is what you said.
There are 8. Yep.
I just need it. Are you counting the Utah Hockey Club combined with the Coyotes, or because it's?
I will. If you're putting that as your answer, then yes, you
Yes.
get that.
Yes.
Arizona Coyotes are the only team with 4 years. There we go. Back to you, Griff.
Playoff droughts. Let's go with Buffalo.
They have been the longest, 14 years.
Who knew? How about it?
Yeah, I knew.
Let's go Buffalo. I have no idea. Genuinely no clue. Who's a team that I don't remember hearing anything about in the playoffs this year? The Kraken.
Incorrect. Strike
Okay.
one. Griff.
Chicago.
Chicago Blackhawks, 5 years.
Look at this guy.
Glenn.
Montreal.
Nope.
Strike
Oh
two.
no, they're in the
They played
playoffs.
the
Son of a
Caps, yeah.
bitch. They're in the playoffs. I did know that.
Griff.
Damn it.
Let's go with Pittsburgh.
Strike one.
Yeah, they've made it recently. They just weren't good this year. All right.
The Ducks.
Ducks, 7 years.
Wow. All right. I think that covers all the California teams. Go with, I'll go with the New York Islanders.
Incorrect.
Darn it.
Strike two for each of you.
It seems impossible, but I don't. Detroit.
9 years.
No.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah,
Damn.
They used to be like the best team.
they were.
Man, I know, because I don't think this is right either, though. New Jersey.
Strike three for Griff.
Jeez.
Glenn, you've got one strike remaining.
Doesn't mean I have another answer.
Well, say your team.
Nashville.
Incorrect. Remaining two each had 5-year droughts going. Columbus Blue Jackets and the Philadelphia Flyers.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
It's a shame Drew wasn't here for that.
Volley round two. Griff kind of called himself out on this one a little bit because he said he didn't know the movie Dodgeball because he lives it. He doesn't need the fake stuff. So this is a dodgeball versus dodgeball round.
Oh.
Glenn, you're going to name the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 members of the Average Joes from the 2004
The actors or the characters?
The character name.
Oh, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to get any of these.
You are going to name me the current
he's going to
top 7 ranked countries according to the World Dodgeball Federation overall rankings.
He's going to smoke me.
Know your dodgeball, son.
The character names?
According to what company or what?
This is the World
what's the-
Dodgeball Federation overall
I might have one. Okay, I got one. He's going
You've
first.
got at least 3.
I'm naming countries.
Countries, go ahead.
Okay. Sure. USA.
Number 1.
So, I don't have to write those down. I'm not guessing those.
Yep.
So, I assume it's Peter LaFleur, right?
That is number 1.
Okay, that's the one I was confident.
Griff?
Japan.
Strike 1.
Darn.
I don't know if does Patches O'Houlihan count?
I did not include him as the coach.
England.
Number 6.
Let's go. Knew it.
I'm gonna be kind of mad if I don't get credit for it.
Okay.
Steve the Pirate.
I will accept it since you
Hell
said the
yeah.
Pirate. Yes.
I could not tell you what his last name was.
Steve the Pirate Cohen.
Did they ever say that at any
They
point
never
during
said
this?
that.
Steve
Okay.
Cohen.
They never say Justin's either, but shoot.
Way to go.
You know what? I'm gonna give you Patches in place of Justin.
All right,
so,
all right.
Since I
Come on.
jacked that one up.
Come on.
Patches.
Australia.
Number 4.
I don't know that I've got another one.
It was Justin Redmond, by the way.
Sure,
like
it was
the rapper.
Oh, Redman, yeah. Oh God, what was her name?
Yeah.
I could name all of these actors.
Some people only eat vomit.
I could legitimately name like every actor.
Mm-hmm.
Because Justin was Justin Long, wasn't it?
It was.
That's what I thought. She was named Kate.
I'll take it. Kate Veach.
Oh, come on.
That's all I got. I'm out.
I'll go. I don't think they're good at this. I'll go Germany.
You're close, but no.
Darn.
I got
Close
nothing.
to Germany. Poland.
Hey,
Poland strike 3.
Cotton. He's not on the team. I know.
Bold
He's
strategy.
right.
Cotton strike 2.
Yeah. I know it was White Goodman. I know that, but he wasn't on the team.
Nah, he was on the Cobras.
Yeah.
You missed Gordon Pibb.
Who was Gordon Pibb?
He was the glasses.
Oh, Stephen Root.
Couldn't hit
Oh.
water if you fell out of a boat.
Damn.
Owen, who was the one who bought the
the nipple tassels and everything. Okay.
and Dwight, the black guy with the headband.
Oh, that was Dwight.
Yep.
All right.
The others, it's USA, Canada, Austria,
He didn't guess
Australia,
Canada.
Should have said Canada. I
Italy,
guess Germany over Canada.
England, and Sweden for the rankings.
Okay.
All right, this almost doesn't matter. Glenn's up like let's see, 21. Let's just call it 22,000 to 500.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Okay.
You know what I'm doing here.
I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can wager up to all your points. You can win up to 7 times your wager.
Nice.
If you get all of them.
Okay. So I have a chance.
You have a chance.
Yeah.
If Glenn gets all of these wrong.
Can I call Patrick for help?
No.
No.
All
Gotta
right.
do this quickly because we do have to call Patrick.
60 seconds. Name as many of the 6 players elected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in their first year, the most recent 6. Elected in their first year of eligibility, as you dare.
The most recent 6?
Most recent 6.
Okay.
First year of eligibility.
As we dare.
As you dare. You don't have to give me 6 answers. You can give me whatever you like. Okay. Why is my timer not going? There we go.
Oh my God.
I believe this is the first Jon Proctor quiz between Glenn and Griff. Bit of a bloodbath right now.
I'm not really doing well with this though. I've got one, and I'm not even sure it's right.
You got about 20 seconds.
Okay.
10 seconds. And 3, 2, 1.
God damn.
Pens are down.
This is bad.
Glenn, we'll start with you. How many answers did you give?
I wrote 2.
2 answers. What do you got?
Antonio Gates.
Okay.
Dwight Freeney.
Dwight Freeney. And how many did you go with, Griff?
When do we say our wager?
What was your wager? Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm going.
All in.
Did you write that down?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, and then I just wrote 4, the first 4 that I could think of. I mean,
Okay.
I'm gonna, I'm trying to swing for the fences here. I'll go with, and they might not be recent enough. Peyton,
All right.
Ray Lewis,
Okay.
Ed Reed,
Okay.
and Brian Urlacher.
I know Reed and Lewis were first ballot, but they were before these 6.
Darn it.
So you only got 1 right. Glenn got 0 right.
Oh, damn. Antonio Gates wasn't first ballot?
Not recently enough.
Wow.
Wait,
was it because he hasn't been inducted yet?
Yeah, he hasn't been inducted
Is
yet.
that the problem? They had to actually be inducted because he got
Yes.
elected. Damn.
So most recently, it is Julius Peppers, Darrell Rivas, Joe Thomas, Calvin Johnson, Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson.
Okay, but I wagered. I did a Drew Daly double.
Right. But
So
because he had fewer points to wager and got 1 right,
I win.
you win.
what?
Negative
No,
500.
wait. What?
Yeah.
If I did a Drew Daly double,
What's a Drew Daly double?
That's where I wager everything you have.
Oh, so you wagered
wait,
what I had.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I thought you were
Yeah.
wagering all of yours.
No,
okay.
Drew Daly double is
This
where
is-
you
this-
wager
Glenn should have
everything
clarified.
that you
Glenn
have.
should have
No,
clarified.
He knows. I've done this every week since we've ever played the quiz.
Glenn wins then with positive 680
I only
points.
lost twice as much as
It was
he
because
had.
I thought he was doing his whole wager.
No.
I put the wager in the wrong.
I do a Drew Daly double. Everybody knows that.
So, yeah, Glenn's the big winner.
Yeah. Suck it. Suck it.
Groans from the
Trying to steal it.
crowd.
All right. You want to plug something? Go
Go
trivia?
Yeah, go play trivia tonight. I'll be at Taco Bravo in Hunt Valley.
Go see him there.
Yeah.
Go see him there. Enjoy the new Thunderbolts.
Indeed.
Enjoy that. Thank you, Jon
Thunderbolts
Proctor. Love you, buddy. Jon Proctor in here this morning. Appreciate it. No, thank you. I'll keep that for extracurricular activities. I'll make sure to get right
Use it
on
like
that.
whipped cream.
You want to call Patrick since we're running behind here. Oh, no. Oh, God. Thanks to Jon Proctor for joining us this morning. Appreciate him doing that as we continue along here on a Tuesday edition of GCR. Today's show is also brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. Don't forget, they've got a huge Preakness celebration coming up 1 week from this Saturday, Inside Sports and Social. $50 reserve your table, includes your welcome cocktail and a lot of other great fun and festivities throughout the course of the day. There's nowhere else you're going to want to be for the second leg than Inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Joining us now here on GCR, as he does every Tuesday, he is our college sports guru, USA Lacrosse Magazine, Washington Post, at Discourse, D1S Course, on Twitter and Blue Sky. He's our friend Patrick Stevens. Patrick, good morning, sir. How are you?
I am well, Glenn. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I guess let me start with the question, how did the committee do?
Yeah, I thought the committee mostly did pretty well. I mean, I think there's a couple spots where you could sit there and argue either way on a couple things. I think you could have argued Notre Dame over North Carolina as the 8th seed. I think you could have argued Syracuse over Penn State as the 5 seed. Those are arguments that could go either way. There's not an overly compelling argument in favor of either.
So
I think the one thing that stands out is, Notre Dame was not the last team into the field by any stretch of the imagination, but to have the geography scenario work against them and they have to go to Ohio State, that's a tough draw for Notre Dame, and frankly, it's an even tougher draw for Ohio State, a team that has won the Big Ten regular season and tournament and probably deserves, I don't want to say manageable, because I think that whoever would have been going there, whether it was like a Colgate or whoever, wouldn't have necessarily been an easy game. But that's a pretty tough draw for the Buckeyes as the number 4 seed. So I think that stands out, especially since there's a real possibility that nobody will actually have to fly to a first round game. There's an opening round game on Wednesday where Air Force has to fly out to Robert Morris. But that's probably the biggest thing that stands out.
The Army thing, is it just maybe a lesson of how impossibly difficult it's going to be for the Patriot League to get a second team in moving forward?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of what it is, and at the end of the day, like I think this Army team might be, depending on how you look at it, maybe the second best or third best team since the field expanded to 16 to not get into the field. I think 2022 Notre Dame is number one on that list, and maybe 2022 Duke right behind them. And but for Army, you look at all those great players from Eicher to Pilot, to Byrne, to Fellows, to Plunkett, and I'm listening to Fournier. I mean, there's so many of them that had such great seasons, and for them to really, play their worst game at the worst possible time in the Patriot League semis really hurts. And you look at them; they have that victory over Carolina. Carolina didn't do them any favors over the weekend, having lost badly in the ACC semifinals to Duke. You almost have to go out and play a Loyola-like schedule and then win almost all of those games to give yourself a fighting chance for an at-large. And, there's a couple games that Army played against Rutgers and against and Yale for sure, games that you would have thought
on paper,
were going to help them out that maybe didn't end up helping them quite as much. So, that I think is another lesson there, that you can schedule with intent all you want, but the other teams have to do their part too.
You bring up, like, they were dominant teams in 2022, or a dominant team in particular in 2022. I think what makes it more interesting this year is I don't know that Army could have won the national championship, but I don't know that they couldn't have either, right? And that's the thing that you and I have been talking about. This is the first time that I ever feel like there's a team that's left out that you could make at least some modicum of an argument that they might have been able to win a national championship.
I'm gonna argue with you a little bit on that 22 situation.
Okay.
Because I thought at the end of that season, Notre Dame had won their last 6. That there was a chance, and they had given Maryland a tough game earlier in the season. That there was a chance that was going to be the second best team in the field.
That's
and
fair.
If it happened to be on the other side.
Okay.
And you look at how Maryland didn't have much gas left in the tank at the very end of that championship
on Monday,
game.
you're right.
That would have been kind of interesting. But I would definitely agree with you that when you look at this bracket, I'm not sure there's anybody you feel super confident is going to be making it to Memorial Day weekend. I mean, just look at the possibility of Cornell playing a Richmond team that they played a one or two goal game against earlier this season. Maryland's coming off not a great performance against Ohio State, and they've shown the penchant for having an occasional clunker in there as well, scoring 6 goals against Rutgers. So, I tend to think that this is much more wide open. And if you would say put Army in that slot where Harvard's at, because that's where they would have fit in, they would have been able to go to Syracuse. Syracuse has been up and down. Who knows which version of Syracuse shows up for a game against an Army team that probably isn't going to play as badly as they did against Colgate, right? And then Princeton against Army, that would be kind of an interesting clash of styles there. I would say that if you're sitting there saying, Army could it have made Memorial Day weekend? I mean, I think most of the season people figured that a team like that was clearly, I mean, this was, you don't want to say the window's shutting on them because they still have some good players that are still going to be around. But this was sort of like for Cornell, this is sort of like the greatest opportunity they were going to be able to have, I think, to make a deep run. And this is now back-to-back seasons where they lose on their home field in the Patriots semifinals after that year where they got within a goal of making the Final Four with a fairly young and unheralded group, which just kind of goes to show you how fickle the tournament really can be.
Let me come to, because you brought up Princeton, let me come to Towson first, then we'll talk about the title contenders. Obviously, great in-season turnaround for Towson, got off to a rough start, playing a difficult schedule, admittedly, and then all of these close games that they kind of grinded their way through. How dangerous is Towson now that they're in and on the road going to Princeton?
Well, the good thing Towson has for them is, I don't know if Mikey Weishauer is going to be the best player on the field in any game that they play, but they're probably going to have one of the 3 or 4 best players in any given situation. You think about some of the pieces that they have, whether it's Petro on defense and, you think about guys like Chop Gallagher and some of the other complementary, if you want to call them complementary pieces, because Towson obviously has some pretty good offensive options beyond Weishauer. But, Ronan Fitzpatrick, the freshman with 39 goals. So I tend to think that Towson can create problems. It would not shock me if it wound up playing a similar kind of game as it did last year against Syracuse, where they're a problem for a while, and then just a team that has a great deal of offensive firepower kind of figures things out. I don't think this is quite as good a Towson team as the one that reached the tournament last year. And I think that this Princeton team's probably a little bit better and definitely more mature than that Syracuse team.
Now, as far as title contenders are concerned, you bring up Maryland, right? Yes, I agree. They can definitely throw in a clunker. They are not. But yet, I think they're as much a title contender as anybody else in this field, correct?
Well, I mean, they've played in 8 championship games in 13 years under John Tillman.
Yeah.
So betting against John Tillman once you get deep into May is maybe not a great strategy, right? And I think the number's 10-1 in quarterfinal games in his tenure, which is, I mean, I would tell you that is the hardest game of the tournament. It's not a Final Four game. Like, everybody feels great being in the Final Four. If you lose in the quarterfinals, it's like a massive disappointment for your season. So for him to have got a team, got a program to figure out ways to win all those games, some of them as a heavy favorite, some of them not, is really impressive. They don't have to leave the state to make it to the semifinals. I like their chances a lot to get there. Once they're there, they could be facing a Princeton or a Syracuse team that they've already beaten this year, and they've basically owned Princeton over the last several years. So, it would not stun me in the slightest if we see Maryland making its way back to Memorial Day a year after losing to Notre Dame on that final game of the season.
The other teams, how many of them in this field can win a national championship, Patrick?
I mean, the interesting thing here is, like, you can imagine, for example, North Carolina playing a really great game against Cornell, but you could also imagine them losing by 4 to Richmond. The question of who is going to be consistent enough to win 4 consecutive games, I think that number is probably somewhere in the ballpark of 6 or 7 teams, which is still quite a lot. I don't know. It certainly is not 2022 or 2024 where you knew which one team was the clear-cut favorite. And it's not like 2023 where you would have picked 3 teams and given everybody else the field and felt really good about your chances. So, I think Princeton has it in them, Cornell, Maryland, the version of Syracuse that played last weekend at the ACC tournament would be really, really tough for anybody to beat. I really like Ohio State's gumption and just how tough they've been and how resilient they've been. They're old, but they got to get through Notre Dame in that first game, which is not a piece of cake. That was only a 1-goal game when those teams played back in March. So it took a goal with 7 seconds to go for them to win that game. Now, granted, that's on the road. I'm not taking anything away from that Buckeyes team, but there's a lot of teams there. We haven't even talked about Duke, which has been up and down, but if they get on a burner, like that's kind of the thing here. Like, can you win some faceoffs? Can you get some hot goalie play? I mean, Penn State's a team that maybe besides that Cornell win, you're not looking at and saying, gosh, they've overwhelmed or anything, but they're going to be a tough out, I think, for anybody. So it wouldn't shock me if they had a run in them. I would say if I had to pick anybody, I'd pick the guys with the best player on the field, and that's C.J. Kirsten Cornell.
Yep.
But I don't think there's a clear-cut, obvious slam dunk choice that's going to win this thing. And, I was looking this up earlier today. The 1 and the 2 seeds have not met in the national title game since 2005.
Jeez.
And so, it's been in the first 35 tournaments, it happened 65 times. In the last 18 tournaments, it hasn't happened at all. And so, naturally, for a tournament that we're talking about as being wide open, it would be like the perfect year for
this
that
to be 1
to
versus
end
2,
and see Cornell and Maryland make it to the last day.
That would be fitting, no doubt about it. All right, you obviously brought up, we're chatting with Patrick Stevens here on GCR. As far as first-round matchups go, Ohio State, Notre Dame, of course, stands out with a bullet as being the best game of the weekend. What else? Is there another one in there that's maybe sneakily, maybe not quite that good, but pretty damn good as well?
Well, I mean, Harvard went to Syracuse and won earlier this season.
That's true.
So, let me tell you something. Not only has no team ever gone to Syracuse and beaten the Orange twice in the Dome, the last time Syracuse lost to a team at home twice in the same season was 1918 when the Onondaga Nation did it.
Ah, yeah.
So some great history there with the potential to see up at the Dome on Sunday afternoon / early evening. I'll tell you 2 games I'll be at on Saturday that I'm really looking forward to that I think have the chance to be interesting. Richmond at North Carolina, Georgetown at Duke. The 2 games in Carolina, one at noon, one at 7:30. Georgetown has been playing really well of late. Kevin Warren, the Georgetown coach, played for John Danowski at Hofstra back in the day. Great ties there, all that. And Richmond is a team, I got to see them at the A-10 tournament final on Saturday against High Point and just came away really, really impressed with what an interconnected team that is. Dan Shamati, the former Loyola offensive coordinator, has done such a great job in that program. It's amazing. They have every year of their existence where they've been eligible to make a conference tournament and it's actually been played. So counting out the pandemic year, every year they've been able to, make the conference final. And this is their 6th NCAA tournament berth. I think they have a real chance at being able to finally pin down that first victory in the NCAA tournament in program history.
Wow. And then you brought up C.J. Kirst. I think Caleb Fyock is very high on this list, and his nickname certainly helps in the process. Any other players that maybe because people aren't necessarily paying attention week in and week out that you would say these are the guys, watching these guys during the NCAA tournament worth the price of admission?
All right. Well, let's go team by team here with 1 or 2 guys from each seeded team. We'll start with Cornell. You mentioned C.J. Kirst, but Michael Long and Ryan Goldstein on attack with him. It's a great, maybe the best attack unit in the country. You look at Maryland. Will Schaller, I think, has a case to be the best defenseman in the country. Yeah. At Princeton, Coulter McAsee is now tied with the great Jesse Hubbard from those mid to late '90s Princeton teams as the leading scorer in program history. So probably a record breaker coming on Saturday afternoon against Towson. For Ohio State, you mentioned Big Tasty Caleb Fyock. I'll also mention Alex Marinier, the attackman, who began his career on defense and is now a 45, 46 goal scorer this year for them. For Penn State, I think so much of it starts with Matt Tranter, who I would argue is probably the best offensive player in the Big Ten. Syracuse has oodles of offense, Joey Spallina being the most recognizable name of that bunch. At Duke, Aiden McGuire having an incredible season as a short stick defensive midfielder. Not every day you see a short stick get co-defensive player of the year honors in the ACC, but it happened there. And for Carolina, the names to know, Owen Duffy and Dominic Petramala, the star attackman, along with Brady Wambach, the face-off man that I think gives them a chance to tilt possession.
Yes, it's that Petramala, correct, for those that don't know, 100%. All right, sir. I figured the way moving forward, I'm just going to call the rest of this season, these are all exhibitions in the Patrick Stevens game. These aren't going to count against your all-time record because these are all absurd, and I'm just cleaning out the list, and then I'm going to move to 3-team guys in the fall, all right? So that's the plan for the game. So these are all more or less throwaways, and we're just basically guessing. The guy that fits the bill for the first category, I did not know either of the final 2 stops for him. 4 teams for Scott Kamenicki.
Scott Kamenicki was obviously a Yankee and an Oriole, correct? Of
course.
Scott Kamenicki's other stops. Was he in Tampa?
Not Tampa, no. Split one season between these 2 places in 2000.
Okay. Toronto? I feel like he was in the East.
You know what? He was in the East, but not the AL East.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was Atlanta. And I actually have vague memories of that after I saw it. and then Cleveland. Those are the two places where he split that final season. Kind of fits the theme as well, except he was actually an all-star at one point. 4 teams for George Sherrill.
George Sherrill, Seattle, right?
Of course, that's where he was when he was acquired in the same trade with Adam Jones.
In Baltimore, obviously, as well. So 2 other stops for George Sherrill along the way. Was he a Met?
Not a Met, no.
And was he a Ranger?
No,
I'm
I know. This is why these are exhibitions. It was the Dodgers and the Braves, the last 2 stops for George Sherrill. And then active one, thought of him this weekend, Michael Wacha is the final one who, of course, was not only an all-star, but I had completely forgotten, was an NLCS MVP. I had no recollection of that whatsoever. Michael Wacha, 6 teams.
6 teams. Well, I know he was in St. Louis and Kansas City,
of
right?
course, yes. Those are all of the multi-year stops.
All the So he was he had to have been a Dodger at some point,
I
right?
can't believe he was never a Dodger.
That's incredible. Arizona, maybe?
No.
Texas?
No, man.
Detroit, I don't care.
Tampa, San Diego, Boston, and the Mets. That's why we said
Whatever.
These are exhibitions. These do not count against Patrick Stevens' record. I want to make that abundantly clear. I said it at the front. You said the 2 Carolina games on Saturday, and then I assume Maryland on Sunday?
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy weekend, but certainly looking forward to it. Being able to cram 3 of the first round games in again, and getting to see the 7 and 8 seeds is pretty cool. And Maryland will obviously play the winner of tomorrow's Air Force and Robert Morris game. John Tillman, I think, still has still wakes up in a cold sweat thinking about the first half of their 2018 first-round game against Robert Morris when they trailed 6-3 before they got things back together again. So I know that's heck. I think he pretty much acknowledged that was something that they were going to be discussing if the Colonials happen to be making it through.
And then I know you've already got something up this week at USA Lacrosse Magazine. Is there more coming?
There's plenty more coming, but the main thing, it's like 3,500 word bracket breakdown.
Yep.
Mentioned some of the guys that are in there, but plenty of nifty stats and whatnot, and just to get you ready as the field of 18 starts to get whittled down tomorrow.
Excellent. At Discourse, D1S Course on social. That's how you follow him. Patrick Stevens, appreciate it. Let's talk again next Tuesday, all right?
Awesome, Glenn. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Patrick Stevens with us as he is every Tuesday here on GCR. We come back in. Very funny man, Aries Spears, joins us next. Glenn Clark Radio.
Discover luxury without limits at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. This April, unlock a world of high fashion delights and exclusive style. Earn entries daily starting April 1st and join our drawing on Friday, April 25th. 19 will win up to $2,000 in cash and free play. And one grand prize winner will take home a curated Versace homeware collection. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an easy pass from driveeasymd.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at driveeasymd.com.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas Combo, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious spilling sandwiches, including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard, and coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Want to improve your golf game or learn to play for the first time? The Baltimore Golf Academy has fun, instructional programs for the beginner golfer to everyday players. The Baltimore Golf Academy can take your game to the next level. Enroll today at baltimoregolfacademy.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
Right, back in here on GCR is continue along on a Tuesday edition of the program. We really haven't even had a chance to chat about what a great night of basketball it was last night. My God, if you have no rooting interest in the NBA playoffs, awesome night of basketball last night. Thrilling comeback from the New York Knicks, down 20, force overtime. Jalen Brunson doing Jalen Brunson things. Just an amazing rally for the Knicks as they take game one on the road in Boston. And as if that wasn't enough, the Nuggets Thunder game was like close the entire time, but it never really felt like the Thunder were in serious jeopardy to me. I don't know why. It just always kind of felt like they were keeping the Nuggets at arm's length, and the Nuggets just keep battling back and keep battling back and keep battling back. And sure enough, they get the ball back down one with just a couple of seconds left, and the Thunder fall in game one at home to the Nuggets. Just a wild way as Aaron Gordon hits the game-winning three, and so both the underdogs in that series go on the road and steal game one the same way that obviously the Pacers had in Cleveland on Sunday night. So 3 series, all 3 game ones, won by the road team so far in the conference semifinals in the NBA. Tonight, game 2 between the Pacers and Cavaliers, and then the first game in the Warriors will try to keep this theme going as they'll go on the road for game 1 against the Timberwolves tonight. Let's talk a little bit more about the NBA. Joining us right now here on GCR, he is the legend, the Hall of Famer, TNT analyst Shaquille O'Neal is with us this morning here on GCR. Shaq, appreciate you taking the time, man. The Knicks take game 1. Are they for real? Can they really do this?
They just got to play hard, and all offense got to go to, Jalen Brunson. If he dominates, if he do what he's supposed to do at the point guard, everybody else going to fall in line. I said, as long as the others do what they got to do, they can win.
Do you think that they can make their free throws?
They're going to shoot better free throws than I will. I'll tell you that.
And a great Aries Spears with us this morning here on GCR. Dude, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Everything is good. Aries is coming to town this weekend. He's going to be at Magooby's Thursday through Saturday. Aries, dude, I got to be honest with you. We've talked before. I always love having conversations with you. You're one of my favorite people ever. I have never heard, until I was prepping in the last 24 hours, I had never heard your Tony Soprano. Have you always done Tony Soprano? Was that something that you did years ago and we just didn't know, or is that something that you had worked on in recent years?
I'm probably the world's biggest Sopranos fan.
Really?
So I was a little upset because I never could do it, and I wanted to. But then I forget my man's name, but a dude who I kind of was talking to, who was on America's Got Talent, this guy Nick somebody, I would watch him do it, and I would be like, he's got it, but I still hear too much of his own voice in it. So I started imitating him, imitating Tony, and then that's when I locked onto it.
So, for example, if we said, Tony, what do you think about the Knicks' chances?
I mean, I don't really care about the basketball, but I got to take the bets. Christopher works out at the booking house. So if all of my guys do what they're supposed to do, still, Christopher, even Uncle Junior, Johnny Shaq, it's a lot of money to be made.
So good, dude. That is so good. Okay, so is this the most joy that, because you're such a Sopranos fan, this is fascinating to me, getting into the art, right? When you nail an impression, I'm sure sometimes you're like, oh, God, I'm going to have to do that one forever. Was this one that, actually gave you joy as an artist that you were able to wrap yourself around?
For me, it was just, I don't even know if it was about joy for doing it in front of an audience. I mean, I love it so much that I probably do it more for myself in privacy than.
Can you do you have any other Sopranos? Like, can you do like Christopher Moltisanti? Can you do?
I could. You know, there's a couple guys who aren't really known in terms of their name, but there's this one guy who does like Christopher Moltisanti, and I mean he has it down to a T. And then the other guy who I talked about, Nick, he does Paulie Gualtieri with your eyes closed. And I've seen guys try and do Tony, and I got to tell you, man, and this is not just me being vain, they can't touch me.
You're the go-to. Dude, that is really good, man. Like, that is really good. Do you still, like, at this place in your career, is it still a passion to take on more impressions? Or are you sort of more like, no, I'm going to do the ones that I do that everybody loves. It's not a big deal for me to be able to add to the repertoire at this point.
You know, I never want to force it. I mean, you know, because one thing I can't stand, and I'll get on, you know, I'll be on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and when I see a guy do a bad impression, I will literally tell him that stinks. So it's like, I don't want to, if I can't do it where it's perfection, then I don't attempt it.
I appreciate that, man.
There are too many guys who
You're just
do
like,
it.
dude, don't. You're embarrassing yourself.
There's too many guys that do it, and when you do it, I'm reading the comments, and people are going, "Oh my God, that's so amazing!" And I'm going, "What?
No,
are
it's
you,
not.
what
Yeah,
are you listening to?
No.
What's wrong with your ears? It's like being a singer and having an ear for tone, pitch. You know, it's like hitting a note. Doing impressions is like hitting notes as a singer. And sometimes people are praising people where I go, that guy is off key. He's not even on key.
Has TikTok effed us in that way? Like people, I just think, want these short clips that they no longer maybe care about the quality of them. It's just like it's almost like crack, right? Like, I just need, give me something, and so we stop caring about whether or not the content is actually any good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, my comedic cocaine is uncut, so you know it's 100% Bolivian yayo.
We're getting effed up, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, when the market is flooded and oversaturated with an abundance of people trying to do it, it's hard. I guess it's hard for some people to tell what's potent and what isn't.
I am convinced that like it's ruined us. Like we're at a complete loss. We have no idea if something. I will listen, dude. And maybe this is just the old man in me. Like, I am definitely this way with mumble rap, right? Like, I hate saying this, but, like, every rapper that, like, a young person comes along to me with, like, dude, they're killing it right now, and I hear it, and I'm like, that, I sound like my father. Like, that just sounds like complete crap to me. Like, it sounds terrible.
Listen, I get told often I'm an old head, and I'm the old man, get off my porch. But, you know, listen, man, I came up in the 90s, in the golden era of rap, when it was at its peak. So it's like, you know, you trying to anybody with a name that starts with little is garbage.
God. And it's all Lil or Young. Like, what happened there that that we don't know how to name a rapper anymore? It's just Lil or Young something.
Yeah. I mean, it's complete garbage. And I get called a hater every other day because I just can't stand it.
Dude, you and I are simpatico on this. Aries Spears is with us. He's going to be at Magooby's this weekend. You can get your tickets right now. Aries, I also was digging around. I appreciate that, like, you've been honest about yourself as a father. I have an appreciation for that. I was having a conversation yesterday that I fear that I might be a bad father because I don't think my kids understand there are consequences. I've got a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. I took them to the Orioles game on Sunday, and they were acting like a-holes, and yet I went and got them, like, popcorn and pretzels. And, like, they never said thank you at any point. Like, they just assume that they deserve all of these things. And I'm like, oh, right, because I've given them to them. Like, it's me. I'm the problem here. Like, I've got to shape up. They need to, like, learn toughness or something somehow in their life.
Yeah. You know, I try to be as transparent as possible because I just think that honesty is the best policy. And you know, listen, I think people sometimes tend to think that celebrities or people who are in the limelight are these perfect people, and I'm so far from that. And I'm more relatable to the for lack of better words, common man.
Yeah.
This whole Hollywood celebrity thing to me is just goofy. It's just goofy and stupid, and you know, it's overwhelming. And I don't know how much longer I really want to do this.
Really?
I feel like if I could get a good escape plan, I'm out.
But what is the escape plan? Is it like running off to an island somewhere, or is it?
It's moving to Cleveland.
Just like living.
Which I can't stand. I've been getting death threats from Cleveland because I took a big dump on that city.
Okay, but what is there to like about Cleveland, honestly? Like,
I retired from performing in Cleveland. I'm done. And I've been performing there for the better part of 20 years.
What do you do? What do you do? Okay, this is actually, I want to know this. When you go to Cleveland and you know you're going to be there for the weekend, do you just sort of say, I'm basically I'm going to go do the radio crap that I have to do. I'm going to, like, hole up inside the hotel and then show up at the club? Or do you actually try to attempt to experience Cleveland somehow?
The only thing that was worth experiencing in Cleveland, and I did it and I enjoyed it, was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum.
Right.
Other than that, the only highlight of my life in Cleveland is right next to the comedy club is the strip club Christie's. That's it.
You stay in a 1-block radius.
Cleveland is America's rectum.
That's the greatest quote I've ever heard in my life. I love that so much, Aries Spears. Now, I say all that knowing that a lot of people probably feel that way when they see Baltimore coming up on the tour. They're probably like, oh, God, I'm going back to Baltimore.
No, to the contrary. And listen, I just started doing Magoobies probably in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Prior to that, my go-to club was the Baltimore Comedy Factory.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and I was going there for the better part of 15 years. And then once I discovered Magoobies, I said, I'm done with the Baltimore. And it's not like it's a bad thing, Baltimore Comedy Club, but when you go there, in order to get to the room, you have to come in through the hotel,
right?
Like not basement, but kitchen. I swear to God, that kitchen looks like a scene from Law and Order SVU.
You just know there's some.
I just know someone has gotten raped in that kitchen.
100%.
Assaulted. Terrible.
I understand what you're saying. I do. I know exactly what you're saying about it. What do you do though? Whether when it was you were at the Comedy Factory or now at Magoobies, do you like? At least I would like to hope the food is good when you come to Baltimore. Like I'm not trying to say
no. The food is excellent. As a matter of fact, you know, I know Baltimore's known for their crab, so there's a couple good crab spots I go to when I'm out there. And then I like the I forget what they call it, but like the downtown area by the water.
Yeah, in the Inner Harbor, right? Exactly right.
Yeah. I mean that's especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
I like hanging out down there. Baltimore's a cool city. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know it's a rough city because when I was doing the Baltimore Comedy Factory and I stayed at that one hotel, I mean, I was doing my podcast, and every 6 minutes you heard sirens.
Yeah. I wish that wasn't true, but you're 100% right. Like, I want to have a retort here, like, no, it's not that bad, but nope.
Somebody's either getting arrested or going to the hospital.
I know you're right. I know you're right about it. But again, this is a weird thing about us. Like, we legitimately, we're like, yeah, but we're better than Pittsburgh. Like, that's what we have going for. We know what we aren't, but we also know that we're better than certain places.
Just don't be Cleveland.
Right. God damn. I've been to Cleveland so many times because I would travel with the Ravens, and I'm like, there really is nothing. Like, you go to the Rock and Roll, like, okay, I've seen it. Like, it's cool. I'm glad I did it, but I've seen it now. I went to the Football Hall of Fame. I've seen it. What the hell else do you do the next time you go back?
Right.
Nothing, man. There's nothing at all. All right, so what else are you remind me, because, like, and by the way, Aries Spears, I want to remind everybody, MagoobiesJokehouse.com. That's the website. Go get your tickets right now. He'll be there this Thursday through Saturday at Magoobies in Timonium. I know you're from Chicago, but you're not a Bulls fan, correct?
Well, technically, yeah, I was born in Chicago, but I'm New York raised.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I left Chicago shortly after I was born, so I know nothing about Chicago. New York was my home.
That's what I thought. So is this as big? I worked on a sports book a couple weeks ago during one of the Knicks games, and like Knicks fans are now popping up like cockroaches, like they're Cowboys fans. Is this as big of a deal for everyone as I would think it is? given the fact that, like, the Knicks have been ass for a very long time. How big of a deal is this that, like, this legitimately feels like it's real?
They'll be gone in 6. They beat Boston. They'll be gone in 6.
Okay. Now, what about the people that are saying that who was it last week that said that Jalen Brunson's the greatest Knick of all time? Who the hell it was some dope on ESPN that did that, right?
Yeah, everybody gets excited for what's hot for the moment. There's no way you can tell me hands down that the greatest Knick of all time isn't. And I know I might get trouble for this because he never won a championship, but Patrick Ewing.
Yeah. Yeah, just because he was really a Knick, right? Like it was like it was in his blood, more or less, right? Okay. Do you feel like that they could be a piece away? Do you think that, like, they have an actual chance to win a championship?
Oh, definitely. I think they're a piece away. I mean, listen, if they the rumor is they want to go after Kevin Durant. If they can get Kevin Durant, I think it's a done deal.
Oh, man.
With
Dude.
the team now with Brunson and K-Towns and the rest of those guys, if you put KD into that mix, I think that's a championship.
So here's my problem, right, Aries? And by the way, it was Jay Williams from ESPN who said that. It was just stupid. I'm a Suns fan. We didn't have a team here, and I moved out to Phoenix when I was 23, and it was Mike D'Antoni and Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, and it was just a lot of fun watching them play. So I fell in love with the Suns. And when the Suns got Kevin Durant, I like ran naked around the studio because I just thought it was going to be the most exciting thing that ever happened. And it never worked. And I'm convinced that, like, he was trying to defer to Devin Booker, but he wasn't capable of deferring to Devin Booker, and it just never gelled. Like, do you feel like that can work between he and Jalen Brunson?
Oh, definitely, because I think the key for them with Jalen Brunson and KD, I think the key for them is K-Towns. You know, I think that's what hurt them in Phoenix. If they would have kept Aiden, I think between Beal, what's his name again?
Devin Booker,
Booker,
yeah, Devin Booker.
And a big man, a legit big man. That changes everything.
That's probably true. God, it was like the most joyless I've ever been watching basketball is watching the Kevin Durant Suns teams. Like, it just sucked every ounce of joy out of me. What is it when we come out to Magooby's this weekend, right? Like, for people that have never seen you before, Aries, remind me, the level between, like, just telling stories and doing traditional, like, where are you at this point in your career? Because I feel like you're at the place where if you just told stories, I would pay lots of money to come listen to all of the stories that you have to tell.
I'll put it to you like this. In this era of moist-ass sensitivity, political correctness, woke comedy, I am anti that. So believe me when I tell you, my comedy cocaine is uncut. It's pure. 100% Bolivian yayo. One sniff and you're dead.
I love it so much, man. I love that a great deal. AriesSpears.com, of course, Magooby'sJokehouse.com. What about Aries on social? Like, you're on Instagram, right?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, just Aries Spears.
Very good. Dude, you are hilarious. I've been a fan for such a long time. It's always a thrill when we get to catch up with you, bro. Looking forward to seeing you out there this weekend. Thank you for spending the time with us this morning, man.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Aries Spears, of course. Man, dude, how good is this Tony Soprano, by the way? Like, how good? I had never heard it before. And just as we were getting ready to come on today, I was, like, doing some work on Aries Spears. And I came across that Tony Soprano. I'm like, holy shit, that's good. Like, that's legitimately outstanding. And, you know.
Yeah, I guess he refined it, like, very recently. Because, like, it has been, like, going around. I want to, like, you know.
Oh,
like,
you'd heard it before?
I'd heard it before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, I'd seen it. And, it is. Just because when you, and then you, like, you see what Aries looks like. It's so unassuming.
Yeah, of course, right? Like, dude, he nails.
He's going to nail the North Jersey.
Nails Tony Soprano, man. That is so good. All right, have we taken 3 breaks, or we got to take one more?
Take one more.
Of course we do. We always have to take one more break. We'll come back in. We'll get a tidbit. We'll get Tubular to wind things down for a Tuesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Something big is coming to Maryland, but it's more than what you think. Because this year, it's more than a race. It's the Preakness Festival 150. And if there's one event you don't want to miss, it's the Magic of Maryland Music Celebration with DJ D-Nice, Club Quarantine 5 Live, BSO alongside conductor Igmar Thomas, special performances by Deborah Cox, Jadakiss, Too Short, and more. Tickets are limited. Find them and see all other events free and ticketed at PreaknessFestival.com.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas combos, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious filling sandwiches including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard, and coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and on the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the long road back from Tommy John surgery for Orioles closer Felix Bautista, as well as Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells. Also inside, we learn more about new Maryland basketball coach Buzz Williams from the players who have played for him at other stops. Plus, evaluators around baseball chime in on Orioles' top prospect Samuel Basayo. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
All right, back in here on GCR. If you missed it last night, Stan the Fan Charles, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson got together to discuss everything that is the Orioles. It was nice to not have to talk about them for a day today. Not because I wanted to talk about Justin Tucker, to be clear, but it's pleasant. Hopefully tomorrow there'll be something pleasant to discuss. That would be neat. I'd be in favor of that. But if you missed it, Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. Stan Shows, as always, brought to you by the Costas Inn. And now we need a tidbit. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Okay. Trivia last night. We didn't do it because we did a quiz today. 2 sports questions of trivia last night. And one of them I got easily. The other one, it was complicated. Very complicated. All right, here. Hang on a second. The first one. What is the name of the NASCAR race that will be run on July 27th of this year at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
What's the name of the NASCAR race? That'll be ran at Indianapolis in July. Why does it matter? I don't care. That's what.
You really don't know this.
This is Indy. Well, like, it's not the Indy 500.
Any mild knowledge of sports, really. This is a very common.
Who cares? It's racing,
dude. This is bad. This has not been a good show from you today.
The race 5. Indianapolis.
Who's a Dylan that plays with the Orioles? Nobody knows that.
Dylan Carlson.
It's not a good sign.
Yeah, the NASCAR 500 in Indianapolis. There's like a
Brickyard 400.
The Brickyard 400. Okay.
Very well known race.
Gotcha.
Very well known race.
I can't wait.
And if I thought that went
wait.
If I thought that went well, I can't wait to see how this one goes. There's some controversy here because apparently there are 5 answers to this question. I had 4 of them, and I wrote them down on the sheet of paper that we were writing all the answers down. Then somehow when I transferred them over to the actual sheet that we were turning in, I only got 3. I don't know what happened, but there was a lot of controversy here. I either got 3 or 4, depending on where you looked.
Okay.
Who are the 5 pitchers who picked up their 300th career win during the 1980s?
300. They picked up their 300th career win, and they recorded it in the 1980s.
In the 1980s.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Man. Nolan Ryan.
Not Nolan Ryan. That was one of the names that I wrote down, though, for what it's worth. We were writing down all the potential names. I did write down Nolan Ryan.
That might be too late.
That's a
Vida
possibility.
Blue.
Yeah, not Vida Blue.
He's too late.
I don't know Vida Blue.
Or
Got the 300. Hang on a second.
That could also be
Vida Blue. Vida
man.
Blue only won 209 career games.
God, what a bum.
Yeah, what a loser.
Pitchers in the 80s, because, Koufax would have been too late. Let's go with Jim Palmer.
Jim Palmer did not win 300 games. Everybody said that, Jim Palmer at the table, and I'm like, no. Jim Palmer did not win 300 games.
How many did he win?
He actually, I thought it was 280-something. It was actually, I think, only like 260-something. But, again, proof that wins don't matter.
Talk about bums.
Yeah, because Jim Palmer, 268 for Jim Palmer. Didn't even have the decency to get a 269th, right?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Just throw him out there.
Yeah, right.
And he could go 5 innings in his sleep.
He did do the bit where he retired at one point and then was like, I shouldn't have done that.
Let's go with, all right, so if it's not.
So far, we're sitting on 0.
Yeah, we are sitting on 0.
You're 0 for 2, though, so you still have 3 more chances to swing and get one. Still.
Pitchers. These are the guys that throw the baseball.
They do. They throw the baseball. Yes. Look, look, man. I'm going to give you a hint.
They're Hall of Famers.
Starting pitchers.
Wow.
Starting pitchers.
Wait,
and you know what?
Let me scratch one off.
I'll add one more to you. Yes, they're all in the Hall of Fame. This is everyone who's ever recorded 300 wins.
300 wins is a lot.
It is. No one will ever do it again.
They did it in the 80s.
I said, even for a sports guy, this was a ball-bustingly difficult question.
Koufax didn't pitch in the 80s. Koufax.
You know what? There is somebody who won 300 games that's not in the Hall of Fame.
Really?
Because of steroids.
Oh, Clemens.
Yes.
Is Clemens on this list?
No, Clemens definitely would not have
Yeah,
won
he
his 300 game in the 1980s.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
He was good, like no doubt, but it definitely wouldn't have happened in the 1980s. I will not count that as an official guess, but it came off very official guessy.
All right, so we'll go with this guy. He was right-handed. He was right-handed.
Well, or he was left-handed.
No, the guy I'm thinking of though.
Oh, you're thinking of a right-hander.
Yeah,
you sure?
Yeah. Why are they all left-handed?
I don't know.
They go.
I don't think you're actually thinking of anyone. Is what I'm trying to say.
No. He pitched.
Yeah.
For
For
he won a lot of games. With National League team. They're all American League guys. Okay. They're not.
You think I'm going to give you these hints? I'm not. Come on, you just guess some names.
Okay, then let's go with. Oh man. Why can't I think of any '80s pitchers? We'll go with. John's helping me out. Let's go.
What?
Yeah.
John. Which John?
John in Little Rock.
No, John in Little Rock.
Well, now I gotta not look. I saw the one name he gave.
What did he say?
Don Sutton.
Don Sutton's definitely on the list. You never would have gotten Don Sutton.
No, I would. It was right on the tip. It was right on the tip of my tongue. They're another Dodger. Go with Oral Hershiser.
No, not a chance. And Oral Hershiser also would not have gotten to 3. Even if it got to 300 wins, it wouldn't have happened in the 1980s. I had 4 of them. One I could not believe actually pitched in the 1980s.
Yeah, so I guess I should be thinking more like 70s guys. Is that like?
Yeah, to some extent.
Not that that's even helping.
Yeah, it's not gonna. You're not. Who are we kidding? You got one because John gave it to you.
Oh man. How about I can't. I guess. Am I waving the flag already? I guess I might have to.
Oh my God. You can't even guess some names? All right, let's try. Let's work on this.
Yeah, I guess so.
You got Don Sutton. This guy most known.
Trivia not my thing, I guess.
Most known as a Brave for the majority of his career.
He would have done it in the 80s. I mean, all the Braves I can think of.
He began his career in 1964.
All the guys I'm thinking of are 90s guys.
It lasted until 1987, in part because he threw a very specific pitch.
Like a knuckleball? Guy for the Braves that threw a knuckleball. Well, they were not Wakefield.
No, sure wasn't.
Not Glavine.
No.
Not Smoltz.
Just say you don't know.
I don't know.
Phil Necro. Phil Necro, of course, threw the knuckleball.
You got that one?
Got that one. Although, in fairness, when I first wrote the names down, I didn't get it, and then Proctor said, was it a Brave? And all of a sudden, I'm like, Necro!
Careful.
Yeah, thank you. This guy most known as a Met.
Oh, man.
Most known as a Met.
Keith Hernandez didn't pitch.
No, sure didn't. Beat the Orioles in the '69 World Series. Went on to the Reds, where he was still very good with the Reds.
Well, see, that's why I deleted him out of my mind after the '69 World Series.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah. Solidarity with the team.
Of course, a teammate of Nolan Ryan's, so you already guessed a guy that was a 1969 Mets, so you're a liar.
No, yeah, but I didn't remember Ryan with the Mets.
That's
this guy I did.
Yeah, let's see.
Or I would have.
Would have, right? Yeah.
So he was a pitcher.
He was. Sure enough. Go ahead.
Drysdale.
Tom Seaver.
Seaver. Okay. Yeah.
Tom Seaver.
He was good.
You're right. He was good.
He was good. He was good.
This guy most known as a Philadelphia Philly. Although he had a good run in the 60s with the Cardinals as well. Phillies. Yes.
Because he won a bunch of games with them.
He was part of the team that lost in the '83 World Series to the Orioles. So if it's
sucker.
really about the team, then you should
nail I forgot about them too. They were clearly not anywhere. They didn't deserve to be. They didn't deserve to be there.
You can have joy and remembering and reveling
in this guy's losses. So his name was Dan.
No.
Dave.
No, didn't start with a D at all.
Gerald.
No, didn't start with a G or even a J.
Okay, cross off a lot. Can cross off a lot. Actually,
a lot of guys gone from that list, right?
Steve
is correct.
Oh, no, he was a GM.
Oh God, really?
He was Steve.
Oh no. Oh, this is bad.
Not Steve Johnson.
No, sure isn't.
Steve Carlton.
Steve Carlton. Look at you. If you only know all of the teams and the first name, you might be able to come up with it. The one guy that I did not get because I could not believe he was still pitching into the 80s, and that's when he got his 300th win. Most known as a Giant. Apparently in the 80s pitched for the Yankees, Braves, Mariners, and Royals.
Oh.
Who knew?
Al.
Nope. Name does start with one of the letters we previously ruled out.
Jack.
No, not that letter.
Not Griffin.
But that letter.
Greg.
No.
Not Greg Olson.
Not a very common first name. Certainly at this point in our country. Once upon a time, it was a bit more common. A very particular movie character famously had this name, first name.
Why is it not popular anymore?
Oh God, that movie character, of course, had the last name Fokker.
Okay.
Oh no.
Gaylord.
Yes.
Perry.
Hey, look at you.
Gaylord. Oh, Gaylord.
Oh, Gaylord Perry. I could not believe that Gaylord Perry was still pitching into the 80s.
John and Little Rock.
How'd he do?
He went 5 for 5. I
Did
mean,
he?
I don't know what time he got all these in, but it looks like.
Oh yeah, he might have been responding to my prompts.
Sutton,
perhaps.
Carlton, Seaver, Perry, Necro.
Those were the 5. I had 4 of them, but I also put selfishly. I just wanted it to be the answer because everybody knows my Fergie Jenkins story. I just wanted Fergie Jenkins to be the other one, so I put down Fergie Jenkins as well instead of Gaylord Perry. That was my problem. The man fixed my backyard.
Yeah.
Like, love that guy. All right, you had a tidbit?
I did, but
you want to just save it? Is that what you
yeah,
want to do?
so.
All right, we'll just save it. Let's get tubular instead.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
All right, here's what's coming up totally tubular-wise. The Orioles do indeed open up a series on the road in Minnesota. Cade Povich on the mound against Pablo Lopez and the Twins, 7:40 for first pitch on Masson. The PLL draft is tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN+. C.J. Kirst almost certainly will go number 1 overall. Not as like Logan McNaney, I assume, will go at some point, but not as many local guys, I think, that are terribly relevant in this draft. ESPN tonight, Hurricanes Capitals, Game 1 at 7 o'clock. Then Oilers Golden Knights, Game 1 at 9:30. TNT and True TV, Pacers Cavaliers, Game 2 at 7. Warriors Timberwolves, Game 1 at 9:30. Baseball, apparently the Nationals are playing a doubleheader today. Did they get rained out yesterday?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess that's
doubleheader against the Guardians starting at 3:35 on Masson 2. MLB Network, Mets Diamondbacks 9:40. TBS Padres Yankees 7:05. How about that last night, by the way?
That was awesome.
That was great.
Man.
Yankees up 3-0. It's raining.
This is why you don't sign pitchers.
Yeah, it's the middle of the night.
Paid Devin Williams
and all of a sudden, Manny Machado plays hero. He gets 2 runs home. And then who got the game-winning hit after him?
It wasn't Tatis because he was thrown out at that point, right?
Yeah. It was, Bogarts, right? Xander Bogarts.
No, he was on. I think he scored the run.
You sure?
Maybe it was Bogarts. I hope it was Bogarts.
I think I remember. I can almost hear Don Orsillo's voice in my head saying,
yeah, you're right. It was
bogey.
Bogarts.
Yeah.
X marks the spot.
There you go. Padres Yankees 7:05 on TBS. MLB TV, the free game Blue Jays Angels at 9:38. Champions League semifinal Inter Milan Barcelona leg 2 at 3 o'clock on CBS. And
that was the final.
No, this is leg 2 of the semifinal.
Oh, you said semi. Okay, I thought.
Yeah,
okay.
leg 2 of the semifinal. In the maybe I said it wrong. I don't know. Okay. CW for WWE NXT tonight at 8. Non-sports.
We got David Spade comedy special on Prime Video.
Is that? Were we asking for that?
I mean, I guess somebody was. Maybe not. Maybe
I mean, I like David Spade, but I like Tommy Boy David Spade.
30 years ago.
Black Sheep was amazing.
Handmaid's Tale, new episode of that. Couple new, 3 new episodes actually of Andor. Very good.
Just throwing them all out there this week because it's Star Wars week.
Well, no, they do. This is how they're releasing they're doing like
marathon?
4 arcs, and so they're just releasing all 3 episodes. So it's just essentially 4 weeks, and they're doing 3 weeks, 3 episodes each week.
Okay.
So the final 3 episodes will be next week. So we're almost done already. Sad. Late night stuff. We'll get Nick Offerman and Charlie Cox on Kimmel.
I don't even know who Charlie Cox is now that I think about it. But yeah, obviously they're plugging Andor. I mean, clearly that's what
nice.
they're doing.
Okay,
You would
cool.
think that
Good
Nick
for him.
Offerman would be talking about Last of Us, but
That's what you would. Well, no, he only played 1 character in that. He was just in 1 episode.
oh, I did not know
Last
that.
of Us.
I genuinely did not know
Yeah.
that.
Apparently, he's in the new Mission Impossible.
What?
Yeah. At least that's what he's plugging. Maybe he's doing your bit. And he's just
Yeah,
he's
right.
really into Mission Impossible.
Might be it.
But I had no clue that he apparently is in the last.
Who is
mission.
Charlie Cox?
He is Daredevil.
Oh, I do
Yeah,
know
he might
Charlie
be in
Cox.
something
Never
else,
mind, my
but he's
bad.
in
I do know
Daredevil.
Charlie Cox. Why did I think I didn't know Charlie Cox?
I don't know. I mean, he's.
You know who
What
that
else is
happened with
he?
me last week is somebody brought up Wyatt Russell, and I was like, who the F is Wyatt Russell? And then I was like, oh my God, I know exactly
New
who
Captain
Wyatt
America.
Russell is. Yes, I know that.
U.S. agent.
Yeah. God.
Charlie Cox. I guess he really hasn't been. I mean, he's been in other stuff, but like, yeah. I mean, he's really only Daredevil.
Yeah.
The other thing. Oh, and then Jimmy Fallon's gonna have Nate Bargatze and Lorraine Bracco and Shakira and Wyclef Jean.
Ah, yes. They're
Are they?
plugging Shabuzi.
They are?
Yeah.
Those 4?
Yeah, all 4 of them.
Wow.
Really?
That's
really into shit. Or they're plugging Lorraine Bracco, of course, is plugging Aries Spears, Tony Soprano.
Oh, she is.
Impression.
She's like, you guys seen this?
You guys know? It's amazing. She's just gonna show YouTube clips.
She's in a Netflix movie that's coming out on Friday with Vince Vaughn.
Is it about? Oh God, what the hell was her name in The Sopranos? What was the
Lorraine Bracco? She was the.
I know she was the therapist. I know,
Yeah,
but what
she
was her name?
Melfi.
Malfi. Thank you.
Yeah, Melfi.
God, Melfi.
Um, And she's in Nona's with Vince Vaughn. And this is it's based on a true story apparently. Vince Vaughn in the movie Vince Vaughn's Nona dies and he opens a restaurant and he gets all the real life Nonas in the neighborhood to just be the chefs.
It's very sweet.
Joe Manganiello's in it. Lorraine Bracco, Dre De Matteo's in it.
It's very Italian.
Yes, it's very Italian. It looks. Oh, they play in the trailer. They play the Billy Joel song that you told me last week.
Oh, a bottle of red, a bottle of wine.
Bottle of red, bottle of red,
a bottle of red. A bottle of whites.
Why did you teach me that?
I don't know how it came up. We were talking about an Italian restaurant somehow, and I said, I'm going to have a bottle of red and a bottle of white, and you just stared back at me like I was trying to teach you about
Billy
Gaylord
Joel's not
Perry.
Italian.
I don't know. What is Billy Joel's heritage, though? I don't know what his...
I thought he was a red-blooded American.
Well, I'm sure he's from America, but that doesn't mean he's not from an Italian family. He's from...
he grew up in the Bronx.
Oh, he's Jewish. Yeah, right?
Okay.
He is Jewish. I did know that. But, all right.
Good for him.
His mother was born in Brooklyn. The Jewish parents who emigrated from England. His father was from Germany. A Jewish family in Germany. So, yeah, no Italian whatsoever. Nothing. Nothing at all. But still, that doesn't mean he hasn't been to an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a great story about Brenda and Eddie. Brenda and Eddie had it already by the summer of 75. Bum, bum. It's a great song, man. It's a tremendous song. Thanks today to Jon Proctor. That's what I'm leading with. That's our big get today. Thanks to Jon Proctor. Thanks to Aries Spears. Thanks to Patrick Stevens. And to a 5-star incoming Terp, Darius Adams. We'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the Didn't Prepare a New Thing. Say his name and he appears.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Tab at GlennClarkRadio.com.
Well, that one's so good, though.
We talked about that yesterday.
That one's so good.
Maybe you can make it the Brenda and Eddie tab. Brenda and Eddie. But it has to be Brender.
Brender?
It's not Brenda.
Which one is he?
Brender.
Which character is he? I don't know.
She.
Oh, she.
Her name's Brenda, but it's Brender. Listen to the song. You'll understand.
Okay.
Brenda and Eddie had it all.
Oh, it's a Billy Joel thing. Okay.
We were just talking about it. We tried. Tomorrow on the program.
How am I supposed to
Stuff and things?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Drew?
He hasn't gotten back to me, so maybe potentially no.
Is he all right? He's at that age, man. He might have fallen. You better follow up and make sure he hasn't fallen. Like, we might have to go over there. Pick him. Imagine if it was in the shower. Like, now we got to go over there and
forklift him out.
Jesus. Thanks, everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including the Preakness Festival, as well as Live Casino and Hotel, Cruise Maryland, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Costa Sin, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Tuesday evening. Go Birds. Duke sucks. Nobody looked any finer. Here at the Parkway Diner. Go on Ryan Ripken's show today to talk about Justin Tucker. Thanks for choosing me. I mean, what am I going to do? Say no, and then the next time we want Ryan Ripken on? Sure, that's a good